There exists a world where islands soar through the heavens. Buoyed by deposits of the enigmatic core stone, these massive structures float high above the swirling volcanic maw below. These islands experience a precarious existence, buffeted regularly by the four great elemental winds that bring bounty and life just as surely as they bring destruction and death. In this hostile environment, it is perhaps surprising that the most humble of creatures have risen to claim it. These unlikely creatures harness this power to grow, become sentient, and finally build civilization. Join the crew of the Undeniably Good Time Network as we take our first tentative steps into the wild realm of Sentima. Come with us as we explore these Sundered Wilds.
Welcome back, everyone. Our episode 2 of Sentima, Sundered Wilds. When last we left our explorers, they had been wrongfully accused of a heinous crime of interfering with the research of one very selfish spider. Had been summarily trundled off to prison, and here we are a week later. Our heroes are now exiles, imprisoned on a slave galley. Not a slave galley, prison galley, prison ship. No one's rowing. It's not a galley.
Slaves or prisons? Prisoners.
You're prisoners. You're prisoners.
Did you read this adventure, or are we just flying?
I think he's trying to make, like...
Man,
Run with this window.
they're merciless, man. Like, you get something wrong, they just immediately start kicking you. It's rough. It's rough.
Off to the mines.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. Right. That's where they're going, actually. No, not really. They're going to Sentima, Australia. They're going to get thrown to they've been decided to be exiled to a penal colony.
The place we came from is not Sentima, Australia. The underdeveloped wilderness full of giant murder beasts.
That's kind of all of Sentima.
No, we were like in
Yes, that's
Boston.
fair.
That's Sentima, New Zealand. It's it's easy to confuse.
If we are the giant bugs, what makes this Australia?
I'm not
An
about...
excellent question. Pray you don't find out.
I don't know. We're on the size of a skyscraper. It probably gets us there.
Perhaps, indeed. In fact, it appears that this ship may not have always been a prison ship. Perhaps it was converted for this purpose. For there still are portholes in the side where your cells have been built into the bulkheads.
I mean, where are you gonna escape the air? We
The
can climb
portal-
out the window.
They're pretty small and certainly quite sturdy. Certainly they don't worry about prisoners trying to squeeze out through there. If they did, they would simply fall all the way down into the boiling maw of volcanic rock. Looking...
That's a thing. That's a thing which is dropping. That's a thing that exists.
Yeah, didn't you listen to the intro?
David Attenborough did the
The
full
world
work
is-
for us. You didn't ignore
the
him.
You know how
world is
hard it was to
shattered.
get Sir David Attenborough to narrate that?
The world is shattered and everything is floating islands.
I didn't tell you about it, man. I took out a hefty loan. I mortgaged the studio.
This close to bankruptcy.
That's why we can't replace the broken mind.
But yeah, no, a side effect of the world of Sentima literally exploding and throwing islands into the sky is it's still quite volcanic down there. So if you fall, I mean, not only are you have a long way to fall with a sudden stop, it's also on fire.
Now, if you thought that the atmosphere was a little thin in New Mexico,
Yeah.
But how high up are all these various islands?
Pretty
What,
high.
Like, you want me to
Like
provide
the
you with an
upper
altimeter? I mean,
What's the square foot?
I'm gonna need...
Wait,
I'm gonna
what's-
need some altitude reference so I
what
can
is sea
calculate...
huh?
what is sea level?
Where's the cloud layer? Is it still below that, or
Am
is
I
that
gonna get
something
the
through
bend?
this?
So, the elemental winds split these questions from your minds. And what you can see actually out of the portholes, no altimeter readings, no sea level readings. No one's really sure exactly what the heck that is. In fact, that doesn't really exist anymore. Certainly not as a meaningful measurement. However, you can see an island that you're approaching. You're used to seeing many islands before, but as you approach it, you can see this island in particular. First off, you guys are in the area of the sky called the Haunt. This is an area of the sky which is lower than all the other islands. anything that falls from the sky tends to rain down here. The elemental winds that sweep through the skies of Sentima tend to be fairly weak by the time they make their way down here. So the energy levels here are weak, usually not really good for harvesting. But on the bright side, they tend not to, like, destroy all of civilization either. Still, though, it's a rough place to live. A lot of, if you've ever seen deep sea ocean fish and what they look like, just that's kind of the type of monsters and creatures that tend to live down here. Bottom feeders, scavengers, the unwanted, the discarded. Rather apt for what's happening to our exiles here.
That's our party name.
One thing,
Unwanted.
one thing that actually quite alarms you as you see it is the island, instead of being an intact, robust piece of terrain, actually seems to be crumbling away. You can actually see bits of rock and root falling off of this island, even now, in a trickle, sometimes in larger chunks, just kind of peel away and just tumble almost hypnotically out into the abyss.
Oh God, J-Stall, what did you do?
It wasn't me this time. We ain't even on the island yet.
Coming close, perhaps even more alarming, an entire side of the island, impossibly so, but the entire side of the island looks almost as though a giant chunk has been literally bitten out of the side, causing somewhat pause as you see this location. It appears that this island's days are numbered, where a place where you will spend the remaining days that you have, unless you can figure some way out to escape this place. Your musings will be interrupted by loud clanging as one of your wasp jailers starts moving down the tunnels, the halls of the prison ship, banging on the bars. Come on, prisoners! We're almost here. Time to pull you up on deck. The wasp prisoners, the wasp jailer, along with the Imperiati guards, are all quite well armed, and you're summarily dragged from your cells and pushed through the ship. However, the ship, like I said, was not always designed to be a prison ship, and they have to take you through a not prison section of the ship to haul you up to the deck. On the way, you may be able to grab some items that catch your eye, or if you have any previous tools from your last adventure that you want to try to keep with you, maybe if your hands are deft enough or if you are stealthy enough, you may be able to try to keep it with you. You're all going to be at your full complement of stamina, your wounds will be healed, any energy you have is still there. They haven't been feeding you energy-rich food, but they've been taking decent enough care of you before they abandon you on the island.
That was nice of them.
Would anyone like to try, or would anyone like to try to work together to try and make something work? They're keeping a close eye on you, but it's very cramped. You could probably grab something if you're quick enough.
I think I'd like to get my hands back on my good old hammer and chisel.
Your hammer and chisel. Okay, hammer and chisel. Not too oversized. Probably something that you could hand tool. You could probably go scoop that out of a shelf. You see it actually as you're being pushed through. It's going to be a deft hands or a stealth test, difficulty level 14.
Well, it don't exactly make a difference for either, so.
Oh my god.
Well, that's 2 successes.
2 successes, only going to cost you a single point of stamina as you try to quickly grab your tools and hide it underneath your wings, and no one notices. You manage to sneak through. Anyone else want to try anything?
I would like to try to use surgery to implant the needle in myself.
Seeing as how the needle is what makes you good at surgery, no, but I will let you use deft hands or stealth, and since the needle is so tiny, I will only make it difficulty level 12.
Oh, that's very nice. I'm gonna do surgery on myself with the needle.
You're palming it.
We don't have palms, we're trees.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you do. Palm prompts.
It's your palm tree. Yeah.
I'm not a palm tree.
Then you can't palm anything. I'm sorry. Automatically fails.
Well,
Oh wow, that is definitely not good. That is 0 successes.
0 successes. As you try to palm your the needle, it's going to cost you 3 stamina as you try to do this, and the guards see you with it. And you're met with a rifle butt smashing into your side. What do you think you're doing there? And your needle is knocked away from you and vanishes into the corner.
Goodbye, Needle.
And you're dragged along. Anyone else want to try anything?
I'm going by here. If they got all the stuff they took from us from before, I can see, well, the fine prize I secured from my wheeling and dealing back in our last adventure. And I would be remiss to leave that behind. That's not exactly small, but I figure I could probably sneak a pickaxe by without anyone noticing.
The pickaxe.
It's a big palm. I mean, it may be rather relatively big, but I got 8 of those.
And I'm gonna start acting as I see him kind of he'll like reach out one spindly leg all the way across the room and try and start reaching for the thing, and I'm just like, terrible. My head and my heart and my elbow.
Oh God, what?
And I'm gonna start
I'll
trying
turn
to
to the guard
distract.
nearest to me here and take a look at him. Well, I don't know what's about gone there, but with us cooped up in these cells for the better part of a week, better make sure we get to our destination intact. And I'm kind of doing a little bit of a show here. I got a bunch of hands doing things, keeping these, classic misdirection. One of them reaching over, picking up a little pickaxe, Well, I don't got to keep it necessarily hidden. I just got to pass it around between my various arms to keep that out of sight.
A little pickaxe. Okay, a little pickaxe. All right, so...
You think I can't hide this thing? Is it too big to palm? I can do it. I believe.
Turn your pickaxe into a trick axe.
All right. Let's see how we can make this work, everyone. This is going to be pretty good. All right. So we have the fainting thing. I'll just have you just spend 1 point of stamina, and you'll create enough of a ruckus that you're going to draw some attention. I'm going to say that trying to palm the pickaxe
That was a strong word, perhaps.
is going to put you up to a difficulty 16. But I think that with your scarab friend fainting and performing her theatrics, that it's going to drop it back down to 14. So difficulty 14 to try.
We're doing a stealth or deft hands?
Stealth or deft hands?
Okay, well, I am, surprisingly decent with that turn out.
Can't imagine why.
No, I'm actually not anymore. That would require the sword I don't currently have. So,
Hey, you could have stolen that, but
Yeah.
nope.
don't
Go for
have
that
to have it
pickaxe.
first.
Yeah.
Can I use its benefit to steal it?
I tried that already.
First, the bonus of the tool.
I tried that already.
Yeah, unfortunately, the sword is very hard to find because of how stealthy it is.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that it does. All right, that's fine. I believe in me. I don't believe in me.
I don't believe
I add all
you.
those together, and it's not one success.
This is a good time to ask about rerolls from last session and if we had any.
I don't believe we did have any, but I do believe,
Playing around,
I
my
think
friend.
2 of you were blessed, right? I believe
Yeah.
it was just Jay Stahl, our wasp, and Mimi, our scarab, were blessed. So we, unfortunately, 3 stamina down and a swift beating from the
4
guard.
stamina down.
My stick!
Yeah, you are driven away. On the bright side,
While that whole commotion is going on, can I use that as a distraction to try to palm my retractable axe?
I have the most obvious that ever occurred.
you know what?
Yelling.
I can't say that it certainly is fairly distracting. I would say maybe that the thing going on might make the guards a little bit extra. We'll see. What are you trying to steal?
My retractable axe.
I can't stop all of
And
them.
key point, it's retracted.
Yeah.
It's a little smaller than your
he-
whole pickaxe.
He would like to take it back.
I could spend another
Wait.
stamina point for this.
Can I just palm the boat?
Huh?
Can I just palm the boat?
Yeah.
You know, I called the captain.
I don't know. It's not working out very well for them. I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull it off. All right, retractable axe. That's a big old whacking thing. Even though it retracts, I'm gonna say this is gonna be difficulty level 16.
You see-
Retracts.
yeah, I see also him over there. No. You're crawling along the ground.
Thank you so much.
I believe in you.
Okay, and I have deft hands 1, so
That's good. So you just add 1 to everything, and you want to get 16 or better.
all right.
Do it.
Natural 20, a 15. Is that with the helping? Does it go down by another one then?
Whatever. No. Just it's whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
She's used her action to try to distract for the Kadena friend here, trying to steal the pickaxe.
So that's 1 success. And
That's good.
1 almost success.
So what I would say is, seems that oh dear, Saul Sakahad has been baned. It seems his karma from the trip 20s last time.
20. It literally doesn't matter what
Yeah,
happens
there
the
you
rest
go.
of the adventure.
So-
I'm content.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be so you have a natural 20 and that's 1 success.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So that would normally cost you 2 stamina, and the guards kind of look a little askance at you, but with you're deft enough with that natural 20 that none of them really take a movement of you, and you manage to slide that retractable axe, kind of stick the blade in your coral branches, and it just kind of looks like another protrusion coming out of you.
I imagine some of it grows back over him, and he's just still completely stationary. He's a spine now. That's all that does.
They're bringing you out on a gurney just because you don't, because you're made of coral. All right, so the 5 of you are ushered up on deck, and did you grab anything?
Huh? No, you want?
He's the only one who was successful.
He was the only one who was successful.
Yeah, I could grab something else while we're at it.
I don't even remember what you hammer and chisel. You brought your hammer and chisel.
Yeah, I'll try and grab the pickaxe again.
We do this all day.
I'm afraid you've been pushed past it by your guards. They'll hustle you out onto the deck.
I was so successful, even you forgot.
It was actually. I
The
completely.
stealth, outrageous.
The stealth was spectacular. It completely left my mind. You're all bustled out onto deck in a hustle and a bustle, you might say. And you can see the island stretching out before you, and massive mountain peaks. You can see signs of lakes, one of which is getting larger and larger. This sort of fungal growth of large mushrooms seems to kind of take the place of most trees that you would see normally, kind of covering everything. One thing, however, gives you a glimmer of hope. You see what appears to be the crashed wreck of an airship on the other side of the island. The ship looks in terrible condition, and there seems signs of activity around the airship. Large patches of the hull seem to have been replaced with various things, apparently numerous times. And as you stare out at the strange sight of this airship wreck just here on the prison island, the guards kind of cackle between themselves. Look at them. They're still trying to repair that thing, trying to get it back up in the air with nothing but junk and mushrooms. Good luck them getting it off even without a core stone or an engine, maybe even a proper sails. They're gonna stay there and work on it forever. But don't worry, maybe you guys can give them some hope when you're down there, or hope on it yourself.
So just to double check, I'm not gonna here to tell you how to do your job or nothing, good buddy here, but you got a mostly intact, admittedly engineless airship over here on your prison colony, and that's you don't see that as a problem?
It's a junk heap. But no, you could escape with that. Yes, indeed, my little eight-armed friend. Maybe you'll be able to patch everything together and flap those arms to get it up into the sky. You just try.
Probably perhaps should be taken a little bit more seriously, but hey, to each his own. I just stealth sticks.
Hey, had you ever considered maybe being nicer to your prisoners?
Oh, nicer to the prisoners, eh? And they're gonna go and actually like push you over with that and kind of cackle and laugh at you. The wasp jailers seem quite humorless.
That was just rude and unnecessary.
They at this point the mercenaries kind of all retreat to the rails and attach safety harnesses to themselves. None are offered to any of you, and the ship does a sudden lurch, almost banking sharply, tipping the 5 of you off the deck into empty space. Apparently there is no landing that takes place here. They literally throw you off the ship.
Oh god, I was not made for this.
And you plummet through the air. Looking below you, the mists will kind of part, and you'll see, thankfully, what appears to be a small mountain lake below you, which looms rapidly larger and larger until with a violent splash, the 5 of you crash into the lake. Holding your breath.
My roots are gonna be so soggy.
Struggling, attempting to make your way to shore before you suffocate. Anyone who wants to try to get to shore is going to need to make an athletics check. Our coral friend is going to have a significantly easier time of it, seeing as how water doesn't really bother you.
What is my traditional food? This is a delicious
You're
meal.
like,
Hey, can you go and suck this lake out of the way so we can get out of here a little bit easier?
I'm floating. I'm busy. He's just on his back.
I hate being wet.
So athletics tests for everyone.
This is too much
It's going
wetness.
to be difficulty 12. It's relatively easy to see. There is no strong current here. For our coral friend, it's going to be difficulty 8.
Awesome.
8.
And I hate swimming. It's not really designed for this.
Thank you.
Do this so I have a little bit of room in here.
It's gonna take
Well,
forever.
I'm dead.
So that's 3 failures on his. I got
3
2 successes.
2 successes, only 1 stamina cost, 3 stamina for our the hammer and chisel man are just weighing you down.
I got 1 success.
1 success for a
Yes.
difficulty 8.
He's die.
Really,
Don't be
he's really busy eating.
I'm just consuming.
Man's over here just.
2 stamina for you, but you manage to pull yourself up. You don't drown. It just takes you a long time of
Wasps and water.
Yeah, it knocks the absolute wind out of you hitting the water as fast as you did.
I can breathe in water, so I've never had an issue with it.
No, you don't. It just
Right in something.
it just takes you. It's
With
very
energy.
tiring to get out.
I got 1 success.
1 success, good enough. You come out soaking, sobby. You got stuck in the mud a bit. It's pretty hard to rip yourself out, but you guys all managed to pull yourself out. Only 3 stamina lost for you. No injuries or anything like that. But
I'm gonna set to drying myself out by reaching my branches up as high as I can.
and you managed to, gasping and coughing, completely possessionless except for what you managed to steal and smuggle away from you. You look around at your surroundings, and you find that the lake that you've been thrown into is overgrown by a drowsy swamp grass that clings in thick patches all around the edges. You have to actually drag yourself through a lot of it to get onto the shore. But around you, it's actually rather picturesque. Sounds of nature surround you, rustling of white bark trees. There's a creek that flows into this lake and feeds it. You can hear the noise of a waterfall kind of in the distance. There's the chirping of insects, not your type of insects, but like actual insects.
I'm not an insect, sir. I think only 2 of us are.
Yeah, that's it.
We're Sentimen.
Yeah. Sentimen! And looking around, you can see actually at the nearby on the shore is a small shack that looks like it has been constructed and surrounded by several of the large tree mushrooms you saw from the sky earlier, and which apparently has been used to construct this shack. So signs of civilization are here, but oddly enough, it seems rather peaceful.
Do you think they have a welcoming committee for in that shack over there?
Okay.
After I'm done coughing up
my
water.
You.
Wow. Well, consider flying next time.
Thank you. I'll certainly keep that in mind.
Have you tried breathing water?
I wonder if those mushrooms are friendly.
I hate being wet. Small list of things that really tick me off. Moisture, definitely one of them.
Well, we may consider this to be one of the worst days of our lives, but you never know. Maybe it's gonna turn out okay after all. So I think we should probably, wow, you look terrible though. Don't worry about it. I will get better from here. I'm sure of it. Do we want to go, check out the shack?
Might
Oh
as
my
well.
god. Guys, does this bake be a sprout loft?
I don't know what that is.
All right, so on to the shack.
Moving over to the shack, you can see that the shack actually is open on one end that's facing the lake. And coming around, you can see what appears to be a large tortoise, just sort of sitting on the floor of the shack, kind of just gazing out, who kind of slowly cranes his neck and watches you approach.
Now,
Sitting
you
like
say
people size?
tortoise.
Tortoise.
Are we talking like I'm looking at a tortoise, or this is like a 3-story tall tortoise?
Or it's just like
It's
a
sort of in the
tortoise
middle.
person,
This
or
is going to
just
be like
a-
about the size of you. I'd say it's probably about the size, honestly, of our good friend Saul here. So fairly large in comparison to you.
Is he sitting up like a person, or is he down on all 4s like a tortoise?
He is sitting on all 4s like a tortoise, but he actually has a woven rush hat on his head.
Does he have hands?
He has tortoisey hands,
Okay, fair
kind of
enough.
like with like really stubby fingers, but he is a tortoise person.
Got little clampers.
Yeah, kind of. And he's just kind of chilling out. He has this woven hat on his tortoise head, and he just kind of looks and just kind of watches you approach as you get kind of within hailing distance, as you're kind of waving at him.
Hello there, good fella. My fine new friend. We've just arrived here. You may have heard us all fall into the lake very
Indeed.
unceremoniously back, right over there.
Just so I did. Your arrival was, well, quite wet, much like many things that they drop off here. a common arrival point here at my lake for new arrivals. Doesn't bother me anything whatsoever, of course.
Did you get brought here the same way, or you've been living here since they just kind of started dumping all manner of folk into that pond of yours?
Oh, I've been here for quite some time, actually, but I wouldn't worry about that. However, I would advise you that if you're going to remain here for some time, as it appears you've been marooned, you would definitely want to be cautious. There is, in fact, the bloom which comes by every now and then, and you'll want to be careful about it.
I have bloobs.
No, oh, I'm sorry. A rain, very rich in green energy can come by.
Sounds lovely.
Yes, it seems as though it's going to... Yes, you feel that.
Do I?
None of you really feel exactly what he's talking about.
Can't say that I do, my fine buddy.
But, well, just focus. And he'll put one of his hands forward on touching the earth. The tremor. And you can actually, as you focus down on it, you can feel a little shudder coming through.
I'll take a tree pose.
The tops of your branches actually sway as you can kind of feel the tremors fairly rhythmically.
I do feel that. That's very, very nice, actually.
The bloom rains and causes strong growth in the roots of the plants. It causes tremors in the ground. It is minor now, but it will get stronger, and be careful. It could shake things fairly violently.
Well, do you have some other place you usually go to spend your time when the bloom's coming around, or is a little shack like this more enough to keep you safe and dry?
This place is fine enough for me. I have weathered far more greater things. Well, the likes of you, though, looks like you might want to make your way to Haven. Please don't be distracted by the name. It's a place that's safe from the weather, but it's been put together by, well, folks with checkered pasts such as yourselves.
My past is very uncheckered. I've never done anything bad in my life. Do all sentiment go to Haven?
Well, anyone who comes here either goes there or tries to make their lives out in the wilderness, but not very many can do that.
Now, how often exactly are they coming by dropping loads of people off on here?
Oh,
Kind of a...
It's, I wouldn't say it happens every day, but certainly a few times a year, more people are dropped off here. It seems that this island is a place for the unwanted to wash up, or simply the lost. You would be surprised what sort of things have fallen in that lake. Haven is at least a day's journey away. You could get there faster if you headed there directly, but you may want to try to gather what strength you can. You all look in a fair, pitiful shape, and this island has a bounty for those who know how to collect it.
I have nothing to cook with. My second-rate pot is gone.
Well, now you might not need to be no doing cooking. Is there any good fishing to be done in that lake there?
Oh, that lake there? There is, if you can catch them, a particular species of fish. I have here, actually one of my old fishing rods that I could be parted with if you would like. If you could catch me some fish, catch me some food, bring me any kind of food, actually. I have some items here I'd be more than willing to trade. I'll happily tell you what I know about this place.
Oh,
what you find.
that's lovely. We will cook you the nicest food you've ever had.
Nice fine mushrooms you've got growing up around here seem like they make good sturdy sticks. And I'll just kind of knock on the side of his shack sort of loudly there. Are all the mushrooms I'm seeing out around this, are they all just these big kind of tree substitutes? Are there any smaller ones, anything growing on those mushrooms, anything else?
So you're looking around and you can find that these large, gigantic mushrooms seem to dominate this area. Looking at it, this is sort of like, it's a very wood-like structure. It's very fibrous, it's dense like wood, which is necessary because these mushrooms are huge. So you would need something strong to go and support all of that. you can also see, just kind of looking around, the swamp grass that chokes this area certainly is here in abundance, and you can see lily flowers of a dark green variety sort of sprouting out into the woods that look like they have some energy concentrations in them. These are relatively obvious to anyone who's looking around, and of course, occasionally you can see the leap of a fat fish.
I know this here looks like it might just be a little more than upright mushroom, but I think I can make some pretty fine sticks out of some of these if I can get a couple brought down. You lot want to help this fine fella out with his fishing stall and whatever it is you're after. I'll go take a poke around these here mush trees.
All right.
I think I'm going to go look at the flowers. Those could have some really nice medicinal properties.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is
Well,
he actually going to give us a fishing pole?
he actually will lend you a fishing pole on the promise that you catch him a fish with it.
Absolutely.
You got no questions, no worries about that, my fine friend with the stall here. Finest fisherman I've ever met in my life. Whatever kind of a fishing stick you give this man, he will bring you back a glorious bounty.
Lovely.
Harvey's gonna reach behind him and pull the axe out of his back, just fully like extended out, and he just goes, "I will find herbs," and walk into the forest.
Herbs. With an axe.
Just dragging it by his feet.
All right. Well, it sounds like we've all decided to start gathering some resources to try to bring ourselves some stuff together.
What
So,
does that axe give you?
Power.
Does it give you like?
Is it like a, I mean, what is it, like a wood cutting axe, or like what kind of, is it like a tiny little axe for getting plants? Like what kind of axe is it?
It gives me herbalism, and I can also probably cut.
So, it's like a
small
little,
sticks
it's like a
with it.
smaller axe. Okay,
Yeah, like a
fair.
hatchet.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do what I do.
yeah.
It's like a little lizard.
I was
axe.
wondering, is it a wood cutty axe
That's what I
or
was
is it an
wondering. I was
herby
like-
cutty axe?
Well,
If I see
okay.
him pull that out, and I'm going to go inspect trees.
Now, if-
Like, you wanna come?
Well, okay,
You're up
because
there.
if you're, it's gathering branches herbalism.
That's
I don't know what else it would
That's
be.
a good question. Is going and looking at these trees, would that be herbalism, or would that just be woodworking, even to look at, try and investigate them and source them?
So it's a good point, actually. Specifically, the cottigills, these imperial cottigills, which are these giant mushroom trees you're looking at, they share a lot of similarities, both with wood cutting and also with herbalism, which is what you would normally use for mushrooms. I would actually let you use either or. If you wanted to go and harvest this shroom wood, I would say you could do either or. You could use herbalism or you could use wood cutting. Either one would work.
Okay, so Carvey's actually going to turn to Saul and go, "I will aid the stick man." Just hold the axe out.
All right. Well, so
Stick man.
if you all want to work together, you certainly can. So anyone with, do either of you have any wood cutting skills?
I do.
You do? So you can spend a stamina to lend your wood cutting skills to your good friend Carvey over here.
Here, inverse. Can I hand him the axe to use because I have 0 in wood? So could I hand, because it's a tool that's giving me
Oh, and then you
herbalism.
can supervise.
Does it give you?
Yes.
What does it give you? +2?
+2 to herbalism. So if I just hand you the axe, then you would get that.
So you have wood cutting, and he's giving you an herbalism.
Yeah,
tool.
but that would make my herbalism 2, which would be higher than my wood cutting, which is 1.
Oh, it's true.
Whereas
So
if I
you're
give him
using
the wood
herbalism,
cutting,
and you're
he's
using
gonna
wood
use
cutting.
herbalism
Yeah,
anyway.
it's two
Yeah,
either
that
way.
would-
It's two either way. So what I would let you do actually is, if you want to work together and both make the roll, I'll just drop the DC.
Okay, cool.
All right, perfect. So it's going to be DC 8 for the both of you.
Are we both adding the 2? Who's adding the 2?
You're adding 2 for
No one is
herbalism,
adding
I'm adding
anything.
my 1 for wood
Yeah,
cutting.
you're using your tool you're using the tool bonus because it's your
Okay.
tool, and you're using your skill.
Okay, I see. I'm rolling 4 today. What was the DC?
8.
It's going to be 2 successes
That is
from
2.
yours truly.
2 successes.
2 says from both of you, so only a single point of stamina for the both of you, and you managed to secure yourself the Imperial Cottigill. Go ahead and pull card MP12.
Is it identified, or we still have to do that?
You're going to pull it, but the tortoise will happily tell you everything that it does. And you are able to go ahead and pull that out. Card MP12 is going to be there. Incidentally, there should be 6 cards that are called M just on top of your stack. Feel free to go put those away. Those are things you might have been able to grab on the ship. Now let's just get them out of the way for you so you don't confuse yourself. And you have yourself some Imperial Cottigill wood. And you've all secured, just as a reminder for you and the folks at home, successfully harvesting something, you acquire a source of it, not just a single port. So you have as much of it as you need to do whatever you want to, and you don't have to worry about storing and take any of it until you leave, and you have to put it in your pocket and take it with you.
And since he told us what it was, do we get a research point?
You all get a research point because knowledge is knowledge, whether you figure it out for yourself or get told to you.
3 points.
All right. Who else wants to go next?
While our friend here is fishing, I would like to talk to this a nice tortoise fellow and be, well, you know, we're kind of interested. We have been interested. In fact, we have a person here that is an incredible explosive expert. And I was wondering if there was anything around here that tends to explode very easily.
He kind of thinks to himself and kind of considers and kind of, interestingly enough, what you tend to find would be not so much things that explode, but more like things that can alter the mind or body in various ways. It's very rich in things if you want to build medicines or substances to heal, or if you're of the more warlike variety, he nods towards the wasp heading down to the lake shore.
Murder everything
To
you can find in the
inflict
water.
those things or build poisons, but no, nothing particularly explosive, I'm afraid. Although, if you come across a fire fern, those things can have quite a great deal of heat built into the leaves. By bundling them tightly, you can create a warmer, or in fact, if you bundle them even tighter, they can even burst into flames simply on their own. Perhaps your explosive inclined friend could have something to do with that.
Maybe we could make bullets or something. I don't know. Where do we find these? The flaming ferns of flames.
Scientific name.
So let's talk a little bit about social stuff, right? So there isn't really social skills so much. I will let you use willpower occasionally if you want to try to bully or intimidate somebody. However, primarily the way social interactions work is like this, which is you're being decent to people. You have the option of using your character trait. Your character trait, you picked it at character creation, kind of tells a bit about your personality and the kind of person you are. And character traits, if people like those character traits, it becomes really easy to work with people. If other people but people also find certain types of people, well, annoying. We all know what we're talking about.
We're gonna be best friends.
And if you find somebody who's annoying, who approaches you in an annoying manner, then you tend not to like them so much. So it depends. If you want to go ahead and be forthcoming and forefront, you can go ahead and leverage that character trait if you want to.
So my character trait is foodie. So we gonna be best friends. I love food.
That explains why you hang out
If
with
we
me.
want to talk about the fish that we're gonna eat, if you're if you just hang out around here and just eat to your heart's content and wait for the Armageddon or whatnot, we can talk all day long.
So the tortoise listens politely as you go on about food and talking about things, but he doesn't seem particularly moved. So it looks like you didn't hit, but you didn't miss.
Now, a question: is there a way to know what character trait they're interested in? Or they're just kind of throwing a bunch of darts at the board here?
So
Because-
what I will let you do is I will let you use search after interacting with them for a decent amount of time to try to pick out what their foibles might
Okay.
be.
I ask because my ability as a Katana here, as a trader and a merchant, is to emulate any nature. So I can spend my energy to
You can turn
present
into a
it,
thug,
to
or you
present
can
as
turn into a
absolutely
bookworm.
anything that'll, get me to sale.
Yeah, I will let you if you want to study your mark, which is what you're going to have to do here, kind of get a feel for what he likes, what he doesn't like, and just kind of seeing. You don't have to engage in a conversation. You can watch him engage with other people. You're literally cutting strips of mushroom off right next to his house while Mimi's talking to him. So you can
just
kind of
creeping.
start paying attention and not off his house, but off of the mushroom next to his house.
Outside of his I need you to chop this. It's already
Yeah,
had
this is great. Pull it out. It's you can kind of keep an eye on him, and I'll let you make a search test.
I wasn't gonna do that. I was just curious for future.
It's
reference.
just something you can think of.
I don't have an
Can
energy.
I make a search?
You can if you.
Try to feel him out?
Sure. Do it. He's-
That's a
Go ahead.
21.
Well, I mean, you probably want me to tell you a difficulty level, huh?
Oh, do
Did you
want
just
me
add them all together?
to? I've got a +2 and a 19.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see. Very good. So He is pretty taciturn and a little hard to read, but I'm going to say difficulty level for him is going to be a 16. So how many did you get that are 16 or higher?
One.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had 2 stamina.
2 stamina worth of just staring at a turtle, man.
Well, as you're talking to him, you can tell a couple things. You realize as you talk to him that he seems to be, he's pretty easygoing, but he seems to appreciate good folk and good sorts. So anyone who would be kind or responsible, you think, would get an excellent response from him.
What a weird guy to be out here.
Pyromaniac count as kind and responsible.
I don't think it does, no.
It does.
So, by nature is generous, and while I am going out to get ready to gather some of those flowers, I am going to offer to share anything I find in all of my meals with him while we're around here. And if he would like me to cook anything special for him that he really likes, if he has the ingredients, I'd be happy to make it for him.
So that's very good. You think maybe instead of saying, hey, I'm going to go and share things with you, it tends to work better if you just share the stuff with him.
Well, I'm asking him if he has anything that he would like me to cook.
He's asked you for fish, so he'd happy to. He said, I will happily take fish, that fish for that fishing rod, and any food you find, I'm more than happy to take in exchange for some things. And he says he does have some items that he can use that he will happily trade with you.
Do you have anything specific that might help me get those lily pads up? Do they have any special properties about them that make it better to get them?
The lily pads? Oh, those lilies are actually very. They create a very. They're very energizing. Actually, you can create a stew that just will. It'll wipe the tiredness from your mind. But don't eat them straight. They'll give you the runs, if you know what I mean.
Got it.
I know. Can you elaborate?
Well, if you want to go and harvest some, you can go
make
get
it
their
real
card
fast.
and then use your imagination.
Well,
That speed seems like it'd be an advantage here if we're trying to make a day's journey.
will
How's
you-
our fishing friend doing?
Is the fishing rod a tool?
It is a utility item tool. It gives you +1 to fishing to any to hunting fish, basically.
Then I'm looking pretty good with +2.
All right, perfect. You go ahead and give me that roll. It's only going to be difficulty level 10 here. The fish leap and are abundant.
2 successes.
Perfect. Only cost you 1 point of stamina. You
10,
managed to
2 10s.
Yeah, exactly on.
The thing that we need.
Boom. Hey, look, the number we need. So go ahead and pull a card MP14. That's going to be the cleaner fish. These fish are big and fat, but they seem to uniformly gobble up anything that comes in front of them, which makes them great for catching with minimal bait. But people might look down on these fish as bottom feeders. However, their meat is of quite good quality. You managed to catch a source of them, so you managed to pull quite a number up. And are you going to share some with the tortoise?
That's the intent.
Oh, the tortoise gratefully accepts, and he says, if you want to bring me any others, I'm more than happy to let you keep that fishing rod if you'd like. And I have some other things here that might find interesting. He offers you a few things. One thing he offers you is a tiny. Well, it's sort of like a knife. It's not very sharp, but it does have a strong point on it that seems to have been chipped away from some sort of rock. There is a set of simple bandages that he could offer, which you might be able to use to stabilize wounds, and as well as an old rolled-up sleeping mat. And he'll happily trade those in exchange for fish or any other type of food.
That's very nice.
I'm going to assume trading for a quantity of fish would require gathering that resource again to have enough to
That was
trade.
really my question. We secure his source, so like, is there literally any downside to giving this tortoise? We got, to my understanding, there's functionally infinity of them at this point, right? As many as we want to take.
Given how there is literally a source of the thing he wants right in front of where he is, it seems that this tortoise really just doesn't want to have to work. So, like, he's more than willing to give you, like, some old extra junk he has just to have some young sets of arms do the
He's
work
getting
for
free
him.
boot. We're cleaning out his garage. He's
well,
making a hell of a deal.
Game
honestly.
respect game. Like,
More so, the question is, every time I want an item, do I have to fish another source again to trade for that item, basically?
Nope. Like, you can literally just as it is right here, according to the way his character is set up, it's like, I would just very much like to, like, have you guys go into that lake, pick up the fish for me, and bring it back.
We will literally cook the fish for like such a simple deal. Like, sure, absolutely. I will take all of those items for just a heap of fish.
Perfect. So go ahead and pick cards T1, T2, T3, and T4, and you guys can go ahead and split those up amongst the two of you, amongst the party, however you guys want. As you go and as you are so nice as to offer to cook the fish for him, it seems as though the tortoise, you know, he doesn't have a very expressive face, but it seems what expression he does have seems to soften a bit as you offer to stay here and cook the fish for him. That's going to take some extra time, but let's go to what are we doing over here with our, let's see, you two work together to harvest the cottigills, you talk to him. Your action was to try to harvest the flowers, right?
Correct.
Go ahead and pull that, research point, by the way, for the cleaner fish, by the way, everyone. Go ahead and give me that herbalism test. Difficulty level is only 10 here. It is it is an abundant area.
So I have +2 to my herbalism.
Beautiful.
That's going to be 2 successes.
2 successes, only a single stamina point. You managed to harvest the dark lilies. That's going to be card MP13.
Ooh, these feel very energizing.
They do. They're very beautiful. They're very soft. And in fact, they actually float on the surface. Smaller insects have actually landed on them and used them as sort of a resting place. And the aroma of the lilies is very soothing, it feels. But judging from the what the tortoise told you about, it's actually deceptive.
J-Stall, you were looking for something explosive? I think if we eat enough of these raw, we could probably do that for you.
There's a laxative tank.
I don't think that's gonna quite be.
That's pretty explosive.
Don't eat it raw. Probably want to boil that bit out before you eat it.
So, I brought you some pretty flowers. You guys have tools. What kind of stuff did we find? Oh, he gave them to us? I could cook. Could I cook? You have a pot?
Don't know if we got anything necessarily to cook in, but if you...
Well, it wouldn't be too hard just to skewer them up on some of them there sticks you got.
Well, also, this here cottigill that we harvested a bit of don't seem like it's too terribly flammable. It's a fairly resilient stick. Might be able to kind of carve something out that's usable as long as we aren't getting it too hot.
Well,
yeah, you could absolutely carve I mean, this stuff is pretty resilient. You could go and carve. Don't burn it because it's got a sort of this dizzy quality to it. But if it's like almost as versatile as wood. Like you could make almost like a staff. You could make a cooking spear. You could chop it up and try to burn it. All sorts of useful stuff you can do with it.
Well, we have a shake weapon here. I could use that to get the scales off the fish to make it a little bit easier to cook them, and then use some leaves to kind of get something under them to catch some of the grease to make the fish, to keep all of the nice moisture in.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. You want to go ahead and cook the fish for the...
I would very much like to cook him fish.
Sounds good.
Well, fire herbs were mentioned earlier. I'd like to source me some of those and start a fire.
So the fire herbs, I'm afraid, only grow one place, and that's in a canyon a bit further inland. But if you do travel, well, you seem like very nice folk. I feel I should warn you that there is they're a rather violent gang of hooligans that live on a cave by the lake. They're ripple striders. They have the curious ability to run across the water surface, and they're nothing but trouble. If you should happen to see them, I'd advise you to keep your distance, or if you're strong enough, maybe deal with them. They're not to be made friends with, and they're not to be trifled with. So do be cautious if you decide to wander off. Stay together and protect yourselves.
Do they crave violence only, or only do they crave items? Would crave the watermen.
Some have come. There was actually one of your tribe that was here before that thought
Canada.
they could, indeed, that they could buy the Ripple Striders off. Simply, Their greed and their lust for violence knows no bounds. They are cruel, deceptive, and unfortunately, his lack of noticing those qualities led to his downfall. I would hate to see it happen to more fine folk.
Well, that's very nice of you. Thank you for the advice.
Well, thank you for the fish. You are all very lovely people.
Well, Cadna heading up there is a real proper merchant. Ain't much of us that go beyond the greater markets without the prophetess's guidance, and if he couldn't make she realistically couldn't make no headway of this, I don't imagine we're going to fare that much better. We might want to figure something out with the sticks and fish we got here. I got some idea for that. I want to try. This is functionally wood here we got with this cotton gill. We got this knife. When Arutha here is done filleting these here fish, I don't feel like it'd be particularly difficult to whittle down some of this and just make a relatively simple spear, something we can use to defend ourselves.
Sure.
And along with that, it's easy enough to poke a hole in somebody, but this wood's got that weird little quality. It's a bit aromatic. It's got a little bit of a musk. Just kind of staying near it a bit too long makes you feel a little bit lightheaded. I'm wondering if that's something that I could bring out with the sliminess of this here cleaner fish we got. Make it less a weapon for dealing damage and more just kind of a dizzying, distracting, debilitating sort of thing.
Okay. No, it's a cool idea. Kind of turn it into sort of like a tranquilizing spear kind of thing.
Kinda.
Okay, perfect. So you're going to take the Imperial Cottagills and you're going to combine it with
And you got, like,
the
fluffed
slimy
off
qualities
scales
of
and
the cleaner fish.
Skin she's pulling off the cleaner fish here, yeah. So if she's trying to get out of the way, it's the kind of stuff I want to use.
All right, that works out well. So yeah, no, absolutely. I'll let you use woodworking would be the best.
That's fantastic. That's the thing that I'm better at. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
Go ahead and give me a woodworking roll to kind of make this crank spear.
What's the DC?
I'm gonna call the DC for this is going to be.
I don't know what the quality is going to be because I got the quality 1 Cottagil and 42 cleaner fish. So I don't know how that.
Yeah, so I'm
works
going to
out.
say that you're using a quality 2 thing. It's going to be quality 2 by the time you're
Okay.
done with it. So it's going to be difficulty 16 to put this together.
That's probably fine. I got this one. It's easy.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be
It's
fine.
good. It's good.
You are not fine.
If I add all those together, it's 16.
Fair enough. So you're working with them. It's pretty slimy. You're trying to get the stuff to stick. Maybe it's just you're having a hard time putting it together, and it is just not really it's not working the way you want. You're frustrated a little bit. It's going to cost you 3 stamina. But the opportunity to continue to try is always there in Sentinel.
So is this the kind of thing I can spend this infinitely growing pile of research points to figure out rather than throwing dice at it?
You still have to be able to put it together. The research points let you know how to put it together. You gave me a good enough description. I'm not making you spend any. But it's not like you can just... I know it so well, I just make it work. You have to actually put it together. So you can try again next time, though, if you like.
So I gave a description of how I was cooking it. Could I roll now?
You may, yes. Go right ahead.
What is the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be... you're just cooking the fish, right?
I am cooking the fish.
The fish. Yep. So it's going to be... difficulty is going to be 12.
So on the subject of cooking fish, can we just make a fire? That's not terribly hard to do.
Probably not. No,
We got
not in this
plenty
environment.
flammable
I would
wood.
love to burn some wood.
Don't stand too close to that when you burn it. These here sticks,
Also,
they're gonna smell a little special something for you.
I'm flammable.
You get to cackle maniacally as you
Exactly.
burn these things. Well, that's your nature, right?
Yes.
All right, your pyromaniac wasp nature. You managed to get yourself an energy point for being able to light something on fire and feel the destruction you have wrought.
It ain't quite an explosion. It'll do, though.
So I'm going to take a pretty long, almost, it looks a little bit the same size as a torch, pretty decent handle. Kind of singe the ends of it with a block that I have, a pretty decent sized block of wood.
Mm-hmm.
That I've just been carving out a hole in kind of the center of the block.
Sure.
Singe the end of the wood. and then try and jam it in as hard to the end of the block, and try and make a dizzying whooping hammer.
A dizzying whooping hammer. I love it. I love it.
You can
Yeah.
get concussed 2 ways.
Many people call it a maul.
Yeah.
It seems like you're going for a maul here. So it's going to be a fairly straightforward weapon here. So it's not going to be too difficult. It's only going to be difficulty 13 to put this together. But it's not going to be too it's not going to be too crazy.
Okay, and then is that woodworking?
I'm sorry, honey. I got distracted.
What?
I never got to her cooking of the fish.
Oh.
Oh, she's hiding in the bushes. I'm sorry. I'm bad GM.
I'm not important. I don't even remember what I rolled.
Well, go ahead and roll it again. Let's get the fish
It's
out of the way. The fish is
probably-
important.
It's probably delicious.
Well, we'll find out.
Oh my god.
It's
See,
just,
so no, I played
it's not
support.
delicious.
Whatever your first roll was, I distracted him from it, so you got to roll that.
It was probably better if you didn't. I don't remember that roll either, but it probably ain't good that you did that.
What
So
is that?
I rolled the
Really
exact
bad.
opposite of what AJ rolled
Is it
last time.
Did you roll
One?
triple 1?
I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 2.
Oh, okay.
Dangerously close.
All right, so the fish does not come out
no.
well. You like burn yourself on fish grease. It seems that these things, you need to cook them. You try to like roast them like it's a delicate fish flesh. This is really a fish you need to fry. So like
Oh.
you find this out after you come away with oil burns and the stench of the scales in your some of it fell into the fire and
this-
burned and carbonized, and the turtle, it kind of like retreats his face into his shell a little bit.
This is not fine
Got a bunch of
cuisine.
toddlers sitting out our outside his deck. I'm just covered in fish slime trying to make a stick point.
And
like,
that's
stuff and
that's
spiders
3
everywhere.
stamina for you.
At the failure of that, Carvey's gonna step up, holding his own bundle of fish, and just go, "I will cook where the tree has failed." And I would like to do a cooking check, see if I can make something good.
This is what I get.
Uh,
Without my pot, I'm nothing.
Give us your beauty stick, man.
While he's doing that, let's see how's your maul working.
See here. 2 successes.
2 successes only cost you 1 stamina. You got yourself a level 1 green weapon. Nicely done. I had a reference around here for what that did. I'll get you the stats later.
Okay.
So
We'll figure that one out on break.
we'll figure that out on break. No problem there.
dizzying?
So it's going to be a level 1 green maul, and you're going to have the if you roll 3 successes, you inflict I believe it's a dizzy
Yeah.
stats effect.
Yellow attribute reduced by 1.
Huh?
Yellow attribute reduced by 1.
There you go.
I've got the cheat sheet.
Thank you. I put it there for a reason.
I'm gonna try cooking. What was
12.
yours?
Difficulty
Yours was
12.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do less complex and just scale the fish and then just put it on the
Fish,
stick and just put it
fire.
over the fire. That's it. That's all he's gonna do.
Go for it.
All right. Okay, that's fine. That's 1 success.
All right, well, it's good enough.
You can- you can eat
spend
that.
2 stats. It would be better if you could fry this, but you know what? Roasting it in such a way, it seems to work well enough, and you come out with some fish. And the tortoise kind of like puts his head out of his shell a bit, and yes, that seems fine. Thank you.
Scale this for you.
He'll take it and like chomp it down in a way that only turtles and tortoises seem to be able to do. With that,
Open.
it's like
stand and clamp.
crunch, and it's like it's like such a gentle looking animal, and then it bites something, and it's destruction. Like wherever the beak of the tortoise goes is just is gone in that way. And the tortoise seems quite happy. The day is.
Can I do one more thing before we end it? I'm sorry.
Well, we're not even ending necessarily. We're just the day is wearing on into the
Session's
afternoon.
over. Goodbye.
Can I, before we end the day, can I cook another fish, but this time I stuff a raw lily in the middle of it, and to act as some sort of odd bait for if we go hunting or come across some large beast, I can just throw it in its mouth.
Yes,
A
I would like you to
laxative
do
grenade.
that. So it's a.
He first he's distracted by the bait, then he's distracted by the weight.
So yeah, so the Dark Lily has the laxative and invigorating tags. So if
Very interesting.
yeah,
fish.
so what I'll let you do is I'll let you do a couple things with it. So I'll let you, if you want to use the lily with the fish, I'll let you use it to. You'll put it out as bait, and because of the laxative tag, it will make it easier to track the animal.
Might
Alternatively,
as well go further.
It's gonna get real spooky.
yeah, exactly.
Gonna get scared.
Alternatively, if you want to use Cottigill shavings to get the dizziness tag, I'll let you try to create a almost like an offensive weapon you can use to try to dizzy somebody.
The Cottigill is a fish, right?
The Cottigill is the mushroom, the giant mushroom.
Can I use a research point to kind of isolate the dizziness factor in it, and then put that in the fish?
Okay, so you kind of want to like put all. Okay, yeah. You want dizzying in the fish just with a research point? Yeah, absolutely. Spend 2 research points, and you can you figure out how to make a dizzy slime bait thing.
Dizzying laxative
Um,
throwing fish. That's what we like to see.
Do you want to? So which one do you want to do? You want to do the bait that makes it easier to hunt the things that you're hunting, or do you want to look at it sort of like the offensive grenade
I'll
type thing?
do the offensive, because so far all we've heard of men who chase us across water and have fought 2 giant animals.
Fair enough.
Like, or 3, then when it quickly became 2. So Harvey's just gonna make that up and kind of keep that in his back
All right,
pocket.
perfect. So we're working with Cottigill and cleaner fish. So I'll let you use either. What would you use for this?
I do cook the fish. I want to make that clear, so that it's more appetizing to it, whatever it is about to eat. Whatever's about to eat it.
Engineering.
No.
Shh, it's cooking. It's cooking. Let the man cook, okay?
Yeah, you know what? I'll let you use cooking. I'll just say like the research point that you spent, like you figured out how to cook it. So go ahead and roll me the cooking thing.
Sweet. Please roll above a 5. Okay, I rolled way above a 5. So that's a 22, a
Yeah.
16, and a 12.
Difficulty is gonna be, let's see
4.
here. I'm trying to remember the crafting. I think what is it? It's something plus the highest quality degree.
It'd be a
If
difficulty
you go
16.
for
16,
14
difficulty
plus
16.
quality.
So that's 2 successes then.
Perfect. So for a single point of stamina, you have created yourself a
dizzy fish.
a dizzy fish grenade. So again, put that down there. It's going to be difficulty 12 to inflict dizzy.
That was everything in this area, right?
The only thing you haven't touched yet is the swamp grass that's growing in large
Oh,
quantities.
I'm gonna go nibble some of that.
Herbology,
Grass.
herbalism.
Got it.
I would like to help.
Sure. Spend a stamina and you can lend them your herbalism points.
Can I lend him my tool?
You can do that too.
There you go, you get +2.
You get another +2 for B.
You get +4 for this.
You're actually the best.
Difficulty level 10.
Oh, well, also, he
Well.
rolled incredible, so...
A 20, a 19, and a 13.
All right,
That's
so
pretty good.
astounding success.
Does this
It's
grass
not hard to pick up the grass.
spontaneously-
It is in fact everywhere.
Is it spontaneously explosive?
It is not spontaneously explosive. However, you do encounter the sort of wave of energy. You find a core of bundled grass. And by untangling it, this sort of wave of energy sweeps over the group of you. Everyone gets an energy point. And
Oh,
you,
that's fancy.
I know, right? And you've unlocked card MP5. The tortoise will happily tell you what it does.
That's a
It's a
gun. That's
gun.
what you want. Yeah. See you looking for it.
Just got there and have fun.
We're out here making a spear and it's been pulled in every 5 minutes. Wow, that's cool.
I knew they'd make that
they
joke
grow
too.
during season.
I knew
Hey,
they
you
would
got a
make
great
that joke.
boomstick out there.
You fed this swamp grass. It's an herb that's sleep-inducing quality. It certainly explains kind of the drowsy, calming effect that you got when wandering through it. It might also explain why the tortoise is so calm now that you think about it.
He's just blazing that shack 24/7. Living his life in a fine hot box.
And so it looks as though if you were looking for something sleep-inducing, that you have quite large quantities of this swamp grass here that you can go ahead and make things with. Just checking, the tortoise is going to kind of look over the lot of you as the day continues to go onward. Does everyone have a weapon?
I have my branch lift.
Not even close.
Yeah, not even close. Yeah.
I got an axe.
So if the tortoise is kind of looking a little concernedly over at your attempts, but he doesn't say anything. He's not going to be so rude as to that. But you can tell he's concerned that you haven't. Yeah, that some of you are unarmed.
Swamp grass coming up here, getting discovered by my fine friend Install, gives me a way better idea than a slimy dizzying kind of stick. What if it was a real tranquilizer sticker? I was already trying to take the kind of dizzying property of this stick and just sort of emulsify it a bit with the slime of this cleaner fish, but I think I can use the grass instead. We can get something a lot more interesting. We got dizzy, we got sleep. That's gonna be a pretty pirate experience getting poked by that thing, I think.
That's quite true. That's quite true. You want to go ahead and try to put a. So if you want to, you can use the slime quality of the cleaner fish to attach the sleep-inducing powder onto your stick there.
Sure.
Cool. Research
Sounds
point.
great.
And go ahead. Again, I'll let you use. What are you thinking? Like
I figured
woodworking?
woodworking. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
let's do
wood
woodworking. It
spear
sounds
here.
pretty good right there.
All right, so still DC 16 then? Using the
Yep,
slime
because
beam?
the fish is a very high quality fish. So.
It looks really good.
I
I
did
think
my
you.
best.
Well, now hold your horses.
Did I just get 3 villain points?
Hey.
Well,
TNT DMD.
Nothing you got to re-roll there. I got no successes.
Well, that's okay. I'm gonna save those for when we have some villains. So those mobsters, right? I told you they were. Yeah, they're no longer like the bandit gang. They're the mafia now.
Yeah.
Oh god.
They do have MP.
Excellent.
I guess while he's trying to work on that, you said that some of the properties of this dark lily was that it was invigorating. I would like to be invigorated, so I'm going to try to cook us some. What are we going to call it?
No, you won't be invigorated. Just take a bite.
No, I have to make it into
It'll
something.
invigorate you.
He said it's going to give us the run, so it'll help us get to Haven faster.
I don't want to go to Haven.
You want to stay in this lake? All right, well,
I guess
enjoy
we
your
could.
forest.
I'm gonna make some lily soup.
Lily soup. Okay, so it sounds like the goal that you're going for here is to make sort of an invigorating medicine, right?
Wouldn't that be tea?
To something to stick under my tongue, so that when I put it under there, I will get a burst of energy.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Why don't you go ahead and give me an we'll go ahead spend a research point for that and give me a herbalism check.
It's like the opposite of a false tooth full of cyanide. It's just it's like a false tooth of adrenaline.
Oh God, it's been a tough day at the office, man.
It's sentimentality.
It's a Super Saiyan shot just in
Yep.
there ready to go. Extra kicker.
TNT DMD has
Oh,
blessed
woo!
the GM, which, as we've discussed, is just me baning somebody when I don't like the look of them.
So that is 2 20s and an 11.
Whoa. All right.
Dangerously close to a repeat of
And my,
So, coming around.
herbalism is +2, so the 11 is actually a 13.
Okay. So you 2 20s. Wow. Okay.
This is just a shot of adrenaline.
Yeah. So you
It's like the
successfully.
Batman where he just shows in his arm and he's screaming.
I
So,
want to give
uh,
this to the
you're-
turtle so bad.
You actually make like a big enough batch. You have 3 of these that you can do. You can feel free to hand them out to anyone who wants. But you have basically you have this lily potion, which has a strong invigorating quality to it. You managed to go cook the laxative part out of it, mostly,
Probably.
and it's
We'll find out when we try
Look,
and drink one.
All
does
this means
invigorating-
is that you will
invigorating is a healing tag. You need to overcome certain status effects.
Gotcha.
Which I've handy dandy, I
cheat sheet.
believe,
Is
put on
in
your
fact on the
reference.
cheat sheet you
Restore energy and life force.
There you go. So if you guys can wind up suffering from certain types of status effects that
Constipation.
sound like you could use that, constipation would certainly help with that.
It negates itself.
These are artificially sweetened gummy bears. They'll take care of you no problem.
Ew.
The greatest of dangers.
Yeah, no, spectacularly done. And the afternoon continues to wear on. What are we doing? I think that the attempts to arm ourselves seem to be progressing, and not
Literally
really.
not at all.
Yeah.
If no one
So,
has a weapon, it didn't start with one so far, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, you made a bonker.
He's got a bonking stick right there.
I have a pet rock.
We have a shiv.
His name is Shale.
We do also have a ship, yeah.
I've never been too good at this whole whittling thing. You see, I'm more of a complex stick kind of guy. Taking a stick for the raw material into something just from its absolute base, that's more for the working folk up in the markets. I'm more of an engineer. I'm more of taking opportunity when I see it, to crush a lot of things and making an interesting stick out of that. This is impossible.
You're above that.
We could make this fishing rod into something pokey.
Oh, we're gonna use the fish whip.
Yeah, well, that's it.
It's
Yeah.
also very flexible. It's yours now.
Oh, is it? Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought we left that.
It was an
Yeah,
old
you let us
fishing
keep it, we
rod.
brought him out.
Oh,
He
okay.
kept his good fishing rod.
Oh, okay.
We got a perfectly fine whooping Malin who was maybe we got a poking device. We got Gestalt's entire existence. We're probably more than fine, I figure.
We could, the town might have more means of defense.
Exactly. We can
Also,
find something.
we could go deeper into the forest and see what's there.
Can I just grab a stick?
Yeah. You got plenty of them.
Like just a whooping stick as a weapon. Just have a club.
Ah, you want a club, good sir. That's a woodworking check.
This is gonna hurt a lot, but you could have one of my arms.
I figure that's pretty simple. Tier 1, it's just wood, and I just want to hit.
DC 15.
Super simple.
You have a bless.
I did it.
He's got 14 on the die on one of them.
I failed twice, one success.
So
I
2
have a whooping
stamina,
stick.
you managed to carve a decent enough handy hold so that you're not cutting yourself to splinters when you're swinging. And you've got yourself a beat stick. It's going to be a quality 1 normal green weapon. Alrighty. So I think we've got the retractable axe. We've got your bonking stick. You've got your lesser bonking stick. Someone has a blue shiv.
Who wants it? Do you want a blue shiv?
Well, I've got
is
gloves already
basic
blue.
damage
That's
1,
not
2,
a
3?
huge system
Huh?
for me.
Is
Oh.
tier 1 damage 1, 2, 3?
Probably. We're going to find out on the break, which we're coming up on. So
Give that over to Aretha.
Well, you can have my maul and I could keep a shank if you want.
That could work.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
I have branches.
It's a dizzy mod. I do got plenty of hands to swing it around with, I suppose. Not the kind of stick I'm used to using. I'm not real big on the fashion.
Well, you
sticks.
can use it at reach.
Particularly.
You know, you just reach really far, and now it's a reach. You just gotta get a lot of.
That's a advantage. I got arms long enough that basically everything's in better reach for me.
Yeah, that's all.
what would Carby like to do with his time as the afternoon waves onward into the evening?
Carvey's gonna go to the Turtle Land, and he's just gonna like sit down across from him and just say, "The town of Checkered Pasts. How dangerous are these people?"
Oh, the people at Haven. Oh, well, first off, I suppose I should say it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy, but they're nice people for the most part.
Checkered Pasts could lead to more difficult illusions. They can't all be, scum
And villains.
or villains.
I guess technically, based on our current situation, we'd be in that category as well, I believe.
That's not
Do you
true.
consider us scum villains?
Oh, no, you are all very nice people. For the most part.
There you go. At the very heart of their soul, everyone's a customer down deep.
Would you-
Looking for the right stick.
Would you like some lily potion?
Except for those Ripple Striders. They're not really. They're just
Scum
bad
and villains.
people.
I have all the.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be able to turn him around, give him a good whooping.
He looks over your meager equipment and just kind of like a slight look of concern over his tortoise face, which kind of bleeds away into impassiveness.
Strength of numbers means nothing against strength of weapons.
Well
That-
said.
How cryptic would you say that was? Let's out of curiosity.
Well, the tortoise got it, but Mimi was quite confused, so I'll say it qualified.
Since I gave out 2 of my lily potions, can I get my generous tag?
Sure. All right.
We're energized.
Look how energized you all are. Hopefully you don't desperately need it soon.
Well,
But,
it certainly
um,
would have helped with landing in the lake if I had some energy.
Well, fair enough, indeed.
So-
So it seems like you've kind of like, decided that you're kind of made the best you can here and getting ready to move on out. The tortoise kind of gestures over. The lakeside is where those hooligans lay, but they probably lay in wait to ambush you no matter where you are. Do be cautious. If you want the more treacherous path, I'd direct you to the opposite side. And you can kind of see across the lake there's sort of a gorge that cuts its way through the mountains. And you could probably make your way there as well.
Is that where them fire ferns are?
Indeed, but I would be cautious of them. It's a treacherous area.
Aside from that, I feel like a little bit of a more hostile environment is a lesser problem than the entire tribe of bandit ripple runners or whatever they was called.
I thought you could talk down to anybody, and now you're just backing up.
I ain't got
Backing
nothing to
up.
stow. I'm already sticks to bow. I got this. Good enough on the stick, I suppose, but
I mean, we could try to make our way over the gorge using our creativity and the things we find in the forest.
Yeah, but I want to go in the gorge.
Oh,
I want some of the fern.
we're
I
gonna
think
get
we
down
can pretty
there.
easily just make our way down and through. I mean, it's a canyon. We can just clamber down and clamber right back up, right?
I mean, I'm not much for clambering, but if you say so.
You're like 75% roots.
Yeah,
The
them
hell's going
roots
up
are
and down
made
to me
for
that much?
climbing,
No.
and that's just what they'll do.
I guess I could try. I've never been very athletic, but
I'm all worried about our little stick friend here getting so far from the water, trying to make his way up a rock face. I don't know how shitty this gorge is gonna
I
be.
am a bit concerned for you. There are some things that have fallen into the lake, not just people. Perhaps, if you're a strong enough swimmer, you may be able to acquire it from the bottom of the lake.
Well, I could certainly tell you I am not a good swimmer.
Yeah, my
by
hair's
any
all
means.
still damp from falling in there.
But that
I'm
ain't going to
actually
stop me
looking
from
to
trying
dive
to
in
fish
again.
them out.
I live in water. I can just grab it.
I do actually want to try and fish something out of the lake.
While he's doing that, can I just walk into the water?
Just take the hook, put it on.
Yeah, I'll grab it and just bring it down with me.
The,
It's a safety line.
the day is wearing onward into evening, but sunlight is still enough where it washing over the lake. Both you kind of trying to, the lake, you can fish at the edge of the lake. Actually, going out is going to require you to either swim or, like, walk along the bottom. But either way, he's
I would
direct.
attempt to swim for stuff.
Swim? Okay. So swimming out isn't too difficult. It's actually way easier. It's a calm lake. Swimming is significantly easier when you're not dropped from a sky ship into the water and have the wind knocked out of you. So you walking and you swimming, you can both coordinate, and you can see actually what appears to be a fairly decently sized chest kind of buried on its side, stuck in the bottom of the lake. But this is where you're walking, and then it starts to dip down deep, and it's in the deep part. Moreover, looking around there, you can see a large number of fish kind of swirling around the area, which seem to look rather toothy. You'd have to be pretty quick if you wanted to dive down, make it down to the bottom, grab the chest, and get out before those fish swarm.
This man's made of coral. What's a toothy fish gonna do to him?
I kind of want to catch.
You ever seen a parrotfish at work?
I kind of want to catch a fish.
Derp's like, come at
I'm
me.
gonna grab him.
He's
He
got
wants
some
the
rope.
fish.
He's got a little bit of
Distracted by the fish,
Well, just
the
don't-
locker forgotten.
I'm
While they're distracted by
tempted.
just all trying to fight him, you go get that chest.
I'll just go grab it.
All right, you want to go run for it?
Okay. If you cause a distraction, if you just go down as meat, I'll just go grab it.
I will let that work,
Can I
honestly.
use fishing to make a distraction?
You totally
In
can
the
use fishing.
water.
Oh, bless Derp and Jen from
Hey.
Vixel.
Beautiful.
Perfect timing.
Thank
Y'all
you,
might
Vix.
need it.
Thank you.
We might, yes.
So I will use fishing to make a distraction.
All right, go ahead and give me a fishing check. It's only going to be difficulty 10 as you dip your line down.
It's gone.
We had dice roll.
And he's wounded. And she's wounded too.
A real Kevin move.
My man struggling.
They're both
He's
gone.
got
They are.
tough,
Impressive.
tough
We are
esports
disciplined.
What is it, 19 and a 20? Do you
Yeah, a 19, a 20, and a 12. And a 12.
The
Wow.
dice you dropped is still spinning.
It's still going,
This is
man.
completely off camera. I'm sorry.
What?
It's a 16.
Okay, so 3 successes, 1's a 20.
All right, that's a resounding success.
And apparently 1 dice still spinning.
You actually managed to like you find this actually quite invigorating. Swimming through here, you actually feel a anonymous just did whoa.
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 Crazy.
All right. Let me think a bit about
He
that.
scares all the fish onto.
They actually love coral.
Literally just parrotfish.
Nothing but parrotfish.
Oops. all
So
parrotfish.
your dive and swim is so erratic that actually the fish gets scared away from your attempts. You actually get back a stamina because of how invigorating you feel. Which is really good.
You made feeling
And
jazzed.
this actually buys you a lot of time. So you can go ahead and make, it's going to be an athletics roll, and with the help that he gives you, it's going to be difficulty 15 to get out before they get back. It was 18
All right.
before he went and
Well,
did
it's
it.
still a +0. So. Okay. I'm not blessed, am I?
No.
This is absolutely heartbreaking. Okay, that's 1 success. Then.
One success.
That's still, it's a natural 20. If that means anything.
Good enough. Oh, okay. It's also useful. You managed to get down there. A natural 20. It's only going to cost you 1 stamina.
Sweet.
The fish do come and nibble at you. They break off little bits of you. You're gonna get the bleeding condition.
Ow.
Cool. Love it.
However,
Can I use an energy point to not have that?
it's not a wound.
Okay,
it's
dang
just a
it.
status
Rude.
effect.
Well, I really tried.
It's okay, I'll patch you up.
You manage to make it to shore with the chest, and you are able to not be. You don't have to drop it. You get it out. You just take this bleeding condition. And opening the chest, which isn't too difficult. It's sealed well, but not too difficultly. Not really blocked up too much. You find that there's
I was
actually
finally getting to use lockpick.
5 planks of 5 planks of high quality thorn pine wood, which is going to be card T5, T6, and T7. T6 is going to be a small paper package full of iron nails that have been forged, and more remarkably is a tool, actually a weapon, glimmering with a red aura. This is going to be card T7. You will notice it's called a chain axe.
Where?
Okay.
Think of it as a kind of like a pole saw, if you've ever seen a pole saw, but it's kind of shorter for you to be able to kind of more easily handle it. Gives you +2 to wood cutting and gives you a lot of damage to cutting other stuff.
He's gonna take that and walk over to Saul and go, for you.
Now that's the kind of stick we need to get through this wood right and proper. So, chain axe. What? Is it what it sounds like it is?
It's not like
You know I play Warhammer.
I know you play
What
Warhammer.
is a chain axe?
Like I said, it's kind of like a pole saw. You ever seen a pole saw?
No.
Think of a chainsaw on a really long pole.
Okay.
So that you can use it to cut branches that you can't reach. It's like that, except the handle is like shorter and stubbier. So instead of reaching the tops of trees, it's to reach somebody who's like next to you.
So it is, but it is just a straight
It's
up
not a
chain axe.
chainsaw.
like-
It's a
But it's
pole.
like
It's a
powered?
haft.
It's
Huh?
a pole.
It's like power.
No.
It
though?
is. It does. The teeth do whir as you go and handle it. I'm not entirely sure how the physics work. I'd like to think that there's like you can actually like rack it to drive a springing mechanism. It's actually an intricate engineered device. You're looking at it. It's going to take you a research point to figure out how it all works. But once you have that research point, you think that this thing is going to be pretty devastating weapon.
I'll absolutely spend a research point to use that fine little stick right there.
Do we get research points for finding stuff in chests or no?
Sorry?
Do we get research points for finding the things in this chest or no?
You will get it because the you will get it for the thorn pine because the turtle will tell you what it does.
Cool. Okay.
So the thorn pine flake, it does look like it might be able to work a little bit better than just by branches at maybe being a weapon for me. I saw that before our friend tried to coat the wood that he found to try to make a weapon, but I think he just wasn't using something steady enough. So I'm actually going to take some of the Imperial Cottigil because I've got it everywhere, like all over me. And I'm going to take that oil and I'm going to coat it with that and with some of the swamp grass, and I'm going to try to make a beat stick that makes you dizzy and sleepy.
Wow. All right.
Stumped him.
You know what? Spend 3 research points. You can do it. I think
Sounds like a plan.
I'm trying to think of like what you could do that for. Like, you know what? Spend 3 research points. You'll get it. Sure. Give me a. It's still primarily wood, so woodworking. You can do it.
I got
Well,
a pretty
I
proper working tool here now. Something better than a little skinning stick. If you want me to try my hand at that.
Yeah, that would be great. Actually, what I think we should do is I have all of this oil left over from when I messed up the fish. Try soaking it in that for a minute. Like, let's just give it like 10 or 15 minutes soaking.
Yeah, just because it can't hurt. Sure, why not? Wait a minute, and I'll rev up my fine little chain axe and cutting device here, and you'll get to work.
I've realized how it works. By the way, you hold the base of it, and the top handle. You actually can like yank it down to kind of like you're working the action on a really springy bolt, and that's what's going to drive the
So I
chain.
cock my chainsaw and get ready to get working.
That's how that works.
You gotta reload your axe.
I back way far away when I hear that sound, because when trees hear that sound, we just get nervous.
Now this is a fine chopping stick right here.
It is a fine chopping stick.
So that's what. It's still gonna be. We don't have anything on higher than quality 2, so it's still gonna be DC 16.
DC is going to be 16.
I
Yes.
got a +3.
Let's do it.
That's 3 successes.
Comes
14,
together.
16, 17 on the dice. +3.
Comes together beautifully. You have a high quality thorn pine stabbing spear, and with us put together, I think there is enough
Everybody's got
to
a weapon.
be able to safely venture
See,
out.
what did I tell you? You just need the right sticks for the job. You can get anything
It's
done.
great.
Oh, I love that sound.
And it seems as though we will see what terrors await moving forward right after this short break.
Oh boy.
Welcome back.
Oh God!
Hello?
Scared the crap out of me.
What a good stick.
With our new saw stick that we have obtained from the bottom of the lake.
I should just go pick a stick up from outside.
The area thoroughly investigate. I think our heroes, as the day wears on, evening is going to a close. The sun is setting over the mountains. Night is almost upon us. I think we are ready to rest and move forward afterwards, after this day is over, at the Gentle Turtle's house, who seems to really appreciate his newfound friends and hopes that they don't get killed by the Ripple Strider Mafia that he has told you
If it's
about.
a day's journey out to Haven, then it's probably best undertaken in the morning.
In the
rather than
morning.
late at night.
It's true.
Kind of
Yeah,
silly
we got-
unless we wanted to use the cover of darkness to try and hide from the Ripple Striders, but we're walking ourselves with a bow, and I imagine we'll have to camp at some point.
But
we got
they know
plenty
the
of food
area
here.
and we don't.
We'll be fine to rest.
A sort of chill runs up your spines. None of you have spines. Backs.
I have my axe in my back.
I have it.
No, we don't.
That
We
is my
cut-
I have an artificial spine.
Circling back.
There you go. There you go.
That's a callback.
Just a sense of premonition, maybe a bit of the trembling running through the ground that the tortoise told you about before. You just feel a little uneasy briefly, as though something is looming or a spring was kind of being tightened over and over and over.
Ooh.
But for the most part, it will just kind of feel uneasy, and even like chatting around the cooking fire like you normally do is a bit subdued. But anyone who wants to cook anything, feel free to give me a cooking check, and we'll look at any kind of food. We certainly have plenty of fish.
Yeah, but
In fact, I think fish are literally the only edible thing that we have right here.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be eating.
No, this is
Well-
cleaner fish.
Fish with lilies.
They don't have the food
Yeah,
tag.
lily's not food.
It's an herb
Oh.
that would make a nice broth. You can make them together.
All
Not
you gotta do is make
food.
a fish that it gives you the runs.
Well, what I will try to do is I think all of us are kind of keyed up right now, so I'm gonna try to take some of the mushrooms and try to turn the dizziness into more like a
Like a sleep
like
inducing?
a sleep inducing.
Ah, like the swamp
Why
grass.
don't use the sleep grass?
Yeah.
It seems like it makes a
Because
lot more
I
sense.
totally forgot I had it. So we're gonna make
Just
some
gonna be the
sleepy. We're
Disney.
gonna make some sleepy fish.
All right, go ahead and make me some sleepy fish. Difficulty is gonna be 12 for the cooking check.
Okay, that'll be one success.
One success. So it doesn't come out great, but it's palatable. Takes 2 stamina for that. So we've got our for our resting and our eating, we have 5 plus 2 for the fish. If anyone has meat or fish for their tribal favorite food, fish.
I have
Perfect.
meat.
You have meat.
I've got water.
You've got water.
You could literally.
Sure,
just-
yeah,
Yes,
you can count.
yeah.
So everyone's going to get an energy point for this. Those of you who with tribal food is available is going to get an energy point for that, and you're going to get back, I believe it's
It's like 7.
5 plus 2 for the fish plus 5 for the shelter you're in.
Oh, holy crap. Okay.
I'm
I
back.
think we're probably all topped off.
So that's going to be 12 stamina back.
Carvy's back, baby.
So fish is meat.
Fish is fish. Meat is meat. Sorry,
Okay.
those are 2 different tags.
That's why vegetarians can eat fish.
And as you awaken the next morning, relaxed and ready to go, you can feel a sort of hissing trickle as it seems like it's raining, but what seems to be falling from the sky almost look like little green gems, almost as though like stones are falling from the sky. Holding your hand out, and it will hit the hand and almost hiss. But your hand will almost kind of twitch when it hits it, causing you to try to seek cover with putting your bedrolls over your head or your clothing to try to keep this from hitting your body. Every time it hits something, it seems to kind of twitch, but the effect when it soaks into the ground is even stronger. You can see the cotigils almost swell as this rain of green energy sweeps across the land. The roots, though, which are diving into the ground and actually absorb this energy first, swell violently. And you can actually almost see a ripple in the earth that kind of rolls from across the mountains where this comes from, sweeping towards the cabin. And as it arrives, the entire surface of the water actually gets kicked up in a violent, sort of very mini tsunami, washing into the cabin. The cabin's back wall is blasted off of it. The tortoise just hunkers down,
He is
and,
a tortoise.
and it just washes over him. But the rest of you are knocked off your feet, back into the away from the lake. And as you look, this roiling, writhing of this green energy kind of causing the roots of the plants to go crazy. It is almost as though the ground is exploding around you. The only place that you can see that isn't literally falling apart would be the Rocky Mountains and the gorges. That is as far away from the roots of the plants as you can get. The entire area you're staggering as this rumbling, roaring is going on around you. And you cannot stay here.
How about that gorge?
We
Quick,
need-
boys,
Canyon.
onto the canyon.
We need to leave.
I'm gonna take off running.
Yeah, I guess we're going to be hurrying ourselves out towards that gorge.
So you guys start running, and as you run towards these mountains, hustling, moving as fast as you can, all of you are going to have to spend 2 stamina to leave this place, as you're constantly thrown from your feet, smashed into the flora around the area, which almost seem to swell against you. And then as you clamber up the mountainside to get to the gorge, glancing behind you, you actually, with dawning horror, see the back mountain range actually shudder and crumble and fall away, leaving nothing but gray sky beyond it. almost shooken by this. You can almost see as this chunk of the island falls out into open space. The sleepy lake where you had fallen into drains rapidly out into the void and takes almost everything with it. Previously, what had been a lush and beautiful vale is now just barren rock, writhing roots, and there is no sign of the lake, the cabin, or your tortoise friend.
Oh.
Well, he said he weathered worse. Anyway,
That's horrible.
It ain't like we can do much for him.
I'm gonna sway.
well, how's this gorge ahead of us look?
Well, imposing.
That's fair.
It is dark. It is eerily silent. Crags and overpasses sort of loom over you, trying to kind of make your way through this gorge. There's so many blind corners in here. The echoing words of your tortoise friend still seem to kind of come back to you, warning you that this is a dangerous place and that it would be easy to be ambushed here.
Is there a way I could get up atop the easy path and get a little bit of a better view of the area?
So looking around, you think you could go up there briefly to try to get an idea of what's up ahead, but there's absolutely no travel path up there.
Fair
You
enough.
could climb up and do it, and if you want to, you could, and using that, it would be a bit slow going, but you would be able to kind of see what lies ahead of you.
Yeah, having something looking out ahead of us doesn't seem like it's a terrible idea, knowing we got some hooligans afoot and that we've only got so many sticks to defend ourselves.
I
And
could give you a boost.
Pretty good at climbing. I'm pretty large, and you're pretty not that large, and I don't want to squish you.
Oh.
Let me go ahead and clamber on up here and see if I can make up this wall.
All right. So clambering up isn't going to require a roll. You'll be able to do it.
Oh, you
The
can just,
important thing is going to be the search check while you're up there.
I'm less good at that, but okay, fair enough. What's
You
the
wanted
DC?
to go look, and you're not good at
I
looking.
thought up was gonna be the hard part, and it'd be obvious. What's
Up top, actually, it's only going to be. This place is actually quite. Once you get up high, you can see pretty well. So I'm going to say it's only going to be difficulty 10.
2 successes?
2 successes, a single point of stamina spent. As you oversee things, you can actually see that kind of perched atop of some rocky outcroppings overlook. You can see what appear to be the Ripple Striders. There are 5 of them. They're all armed with long poking sticks that they would be very serviceable spears. And they're perched over a particular part of the path where you would have to pass directly underneath them, and you would be easy prey. You have found the ambush, and they do not seem to have noticed you before you climb back down.
Yeah, well, I'm brown, rocks are brown, pretty hard to see. I'm a fairly stealthy guy, even without that weird little sword. Question. With the way that we learned combat works last week, what with the various, I don't want to say elemental, I guess literally just like, I guess it is the elemental wins, advantages and disadvantages going into things. Do I get any kind of an inkling? I mean, there's only so many Are they like one of the tribes? Is that like a thing that exists? Would I have any inkling of what like color aspect they might be?
They're not one of the tribes that typically are around. They're more of a minor tribe, so they're not like one of like the main forces of civilization in Sentima. Certainly, Ripple Striders tend to do well around areas where there's large lakes, but it seems that the Ripple Striders themselves were driven away from the lake from the roiling.
In fact, that there isn't one anymore.
Well, yeah, well,
that'll do it.
Yeah, no telling what's left on the other side. But it is the destruction wrought by the elemental upheaval. You would think like, oh, little tremors kind of thing. It's like, yeah, no, a chunk of the island just fell off into space, and the Ripple Striders themselves, let's see here. You got 2 successes. You can tell that they're not terribly stealthy, actually, which is why they were easy enough to spot. Like, you could see mainly just from the fact that the terrain was doing all the work for them, is what it was. This was an ambush that was set up that is entirely because of the terrain. They're not that stealthy. In fact, they actually don't look that strong.
I was going to say, this sounds pretty yellow. what with them having the idea to set this up, but without any real ability to hide themselves, kind of more of a tactical thing without necessarily attacking.
That would be a reasonable line of decisions. You think that yellow would probably be decently strong with them, so probably trying not to fight them on their strong suit would be a good idea.
Is there any kind of like they're yellow so they're weaker to red or whatever? Like,
Nope.
Is there a cycle, or is it just beyond like don't do this? It's just we have no idea as far as the other three are concerned.
Correct.
Okay, it's not like a.
Well, we also have
Cycle.
like
It's not.
Dizzy.
There's no like yellow beats red.
Right,
beats,
right.
No.
Yeah, we do have status effects where we do have a dizzy
Disney
weapon.
dropping yellow by one symbol could be useful. I want to come back down, regroup with the rest of my fellow exiles here, and let them know that there's ramble crawlers or whatever that turtle fella said. There's a pretty big pack of them not too far up the road here, perched up the top of this canyon, looking like they're hunting for someone else fleeing that their devastation to strike on. Looking like 5 of them, maybe.
Maybe we could surprise them. We know they're there. They don't know we're here.
I don't know how we'd be able to do that without all of us clambering up on the top, and just the act of doing that would be pretty obvious. They're not particularly well hidden, though. They do seem like they're kind of just leaning on the tactical position they got.
I could bait them in. You were talking about my wings earlier. I reckon I could climb up there, swing out in front of them, bait them towards you.
Wouldn't be the worst idea, I suppose. Drag them into an ambush of our own. Think you can get them to come down to us?
Reckon I'd be mighty annoying enough.
Well, then we can certainly hang out with a whole bunch of sticks ready and waiting.
So we're in the canyon now, right? Like
You're at the
canyon
edge.
area?
You're at the mouth of the canyon. You are at the edge of it. Getting through it will be vital to get out of here.
So
but,
there's no red fern near us now, though, is there?
looking around, you can see some, but the ambush is going to have to be dealt with before you can try to like gather.
I'm gonna go out and pick a bunch of flowers.
I just thought, hey, we can make a bomb real quick.
But here's what I'm thinking.
I'm gonna cook something up for you. Just you wait.
give me 5 minutes.
What I'm thinking is take fish bomb and just fly out and throw it at him to annoy him into chasing me.
All right. Yeah.
And spend an energy
We're gonna
point
get
to use my
into-
wings.
Into formation over here at the other entrance.
Okay. So
We're
you
gonna
guys are
hit
gonna set
yellow
up your
with-
own ambush.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Out ambush the ambushers.
So just to double check, our attacks aren't based on like our tactics or whatever. They're literally just based on what it is that we're swinging. So like, if I'm
Correct.
swinging a red chain axe, it doesn't really matter how I'm doing it. It's a red attack. It's the defense that matters. How we're trying to protect ourselves.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's why I don't want like a red
Yeah, so it's like
weapon.
I don't really because I don't want to hit him with an ambush and get a bunch of yellow attacks into him. But that makes sense.
Yep. All right.
BB, do you have any suggestions on where I should stand? You seem to know a lot about this stuff.
Well, I mean, I haven't actually gotten a good look at them yet, so I'm not sure exactly. I mean, normally going on like a high ground advantage is always good. High ground advantage always good. Also, if they're telling us if we're on the higher ground, we can just poke them in the eyeballs.
I like poking.
So there's certainly plenty of opportunity to get on higher ledges, especially if you can bait a chase. So I think with that knowledge and your scarabee intellect behind it, you're able to position your friends in an advantageous position, kind of playing on the similar things that the Ripple Striders were trying to do for you.
So we keep her around. I got the sticks. She's got the tricks.
I'll try not to rustle too much.
I'll take the fish grenade.
Yep.
And climb on up and then spin an energy point to kind of just glide out in their direction, spot them from up above. Y'all think you could ambush me like that? And just fling a stinky fish at them.
Fish at them.
Nice.
Laps.
Boom.
Try harder.
Alrighty. So having gotten the jump on these guys, they kind of startle and look up at you. And seeing that you're by yourself, you can kind of see them their eyes get flat and feral. And then the fish bomb goes off. Go ahead and roll me the, I believe, what was it? Difficulty?
DC 12.
DC 12 to get that fish bomb off.
2 successes.
2 successes, good enough. I'm gonna actually say you catch them with it. It kind of goes off, and this slimy, fishy goop gets on them. Yeah, you'll never get away with this. Come on, boys, let's get them! And pull
try
their
to
spears
catch me.
up and chase you back up the canyon.
Even if
and-
they win, they're gonna have the runs.
yeah.
We will always
Moral
win.
victory.
Vengeance.
Can't lose from here, boys.
You're skittering over the rocks. You pass by the ambush point, and you get them right in the air, and you're able to pounce. And this is going to be the start of combat. Because you have set up the ambush and you caught them ahead of time, they don't get the first turn. You start to attack right away. And so there are 5 of the Ripple Striders. And as you pounce out, they all kind of look panicky as the tables have turned.
You thought a wasp was gonna fight you fair?
Tree powers activate.
So we're going to be able to, they're going to all start off staggered, which is going to be spectacular, which means you're all going to be able to get 3 chances to try to deal damage to them. And we'll just go around the table in 3 rounds, and then they'll be on the offense.
If I wanted to, now that I can see them, spend an energy point to kind of eye out a vulnerable spot and see if I can help people hone in on that weakness.
Yep.
You guys get energy points to do stuff in combat?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, you spend energy points to make combat not happen.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah, it's okay. I don't want any.
All right. So yeah, spending an energy point, you can call out, hey, look at them there. They've got spindly arms and are weak.
Weak. That's what I'm gonna. It's also demoralized. You are weak. Gross and gross looking.
And you manage.
You absolutely roast them.
I'm great at
You did.
Dude,
They'll never recover.
They will
Nope.
I feel bad for them now.
They're gonna be thinking about this while they're crapping themselves later.
gross and gross looking.
Alrighty, and let's go around the corner. What's our good friend Arutha gonna do?
Arutha's gonna take his spear and he's just gonna stab up at one of their feet as they come forward and try to get him to see if he can't make him fall asleep and get dizzy and maybe crash into one of his friends.
All right, it's a green weapon attack. They are frail looking and they're not particularly strong. Again, they don't seem to have a lot of strong life force in them, so it's only going to be difficulty level 10.
Ooh, that's very nice. That's gonna be 1 success.
1 success. You're gonna do one. I believe it's 1 damage is what you get at your base.
2.
2 damage.
Because it's by Thorn's spear and it got a quality
That's 2, 3. That's right. You're gonna use 2 damage. Nice. Okay, perfect. So yeah, you're gonna cause a significant wound on one of them. Kind of cries out and we'll go around.
Does using a weapon add anything when I roll to attack them? Or
Nope. It's the element that matters, and the quality of the weapon determines how much damage you do on
So
different numbers of
straight up fire roll.
successes.
Gotcha. Okay, so it is a red weapon.
Yep. It's a red weapon you're using?
Yep.
What is it?
It's my retractable axe.
Retractable axe that he managed to secret on himself off the prison ship.
Unretracted.
It's red.
Retracted time is over.
Retracted time is over.
It's big boy hour.
You're swinging this axe up at him. It seems that although they're frail, they are very aggressive. So it's going to be difficulty level 12 in order to try to hit them with this.
That's probably fine. That's 1 success.
1 success. You're going to do a single point of damage, I take? Are you
1 point of damage, yes.
1 damage, okay. And are you targeting the same one? Or?
Yeah, I'll hit the same one she does.
That one actually drops. A significant wound was given to by Arutha's spear stab, and these do not appear to be very strong. So you managed to drop them down, having this ambush
slices it, and then it drops. Each just like the samurai, as all the blood streaks off.
Coming around to J Stall.
What does your ability do?
It gives you +1 to attack if you're attacking the vulnerability that I called out.
And which one did you call?
Oh, it's just the spindly legs and
Do you have
stuff.
to pick a single enemy, or does it work on the whole group of them?
It just
I would-
says to that.
I don't think it's that rules dense of a system, really.
I would think that's the same creature. It would work on all of them. They probably all have the same species weakness.
Is one of them really jacked?
All right, fair enough. No,
Okay.
actually, they're all pretty darn spindly. One of them has a little fedora, though.
Oh,
You'll never get away with it.
Well, you know what they say about sticks and stones, because I'm going to be breaking them bones.
What do you,
Green club.
a green club, pretty frail, difficulty level 10.
Well,
There's one of those.
there's
There is,
the...
there is a 10.
You got 1?
Yeah.
I got 1.
You got
He
1
also got
success.
a
2
1 and a
stamina,
3.
and you're going to deal a damage to one of them. Well done.
Yuck.
Man, we've all done 1 success so far.
We're doing it, boys.
look, this is just 1 of 3, guys. This is just the opener.
All right, our Mimi the Scarab.
It's the
So I'll be basically plastered up against the wall here, and you just kind of smooshed turtle-like against the wall. And as they kind of run by, I'll just stick a arm out with a shiv that I have, and just try and cut one of the hamstrings.
Boom.
I
They
don't
don't
know
seem
if I
very
don't think they have
subtle.
those.
Yeah, they don't seem very subtle. They're difficult, reasonably easy to hit from stealth, so only difficulty 10.
Okay, sweet.
Manoi.
Okay, that is
That's
much
2.
stabbing. That's 2 successes.
2 successes, and you're targeting a different one or a same one. That,
If I'm wrong, I'd probably be on the other side.
Other side?
just
Okay.
Because, like,
So
how-
draw a cry as you jab this into the knee joint of one of
That
them,
would
and
be-
he's limping from the wound with the 2 damage you've done. Moving on to Saul, what are we doing over here with your?
I got, yeah, you're gonna hear this thing rev up. I got 4 legs to cling on the little ledge that I'm attached to and swing down with 4 arms and just sort of put this poleaxe right through somebody. And look, as fragile as they're looking, I'm gonna go for one of the fresh ones here because it's very likely I'm gonna be able to hit him for 3, honestly.
Sounds good to me. They are very aggressive, so difficulty
attack,
12.
I have an 11 and I'm blessed, which means that's gonna be 2 successes then, which is going to be 3 points of damage.
And that guy, you just and with a spray of blood and ichor,
Oh,
this thing
what a damn good
drops.
This is a stick cutting stick, so these are sticky.
Boss, no, you'll never get away with that.
I
They
think I
are,
already have, son. What, you want to try your hand at this?
they are daunted, but they're undaunted.
I'll
but
swing it
they're,
right back.
they're keeping at it with their reachy spears. Coming back around to Eartha.
I'll
got 2
use
left and they're both
I'll
injured.
use my reach to try to take a swig at one of the ones that they got off on to try to finish it.
Sure. Go ahead and make that green roll again. Difficulty 10.
I get a roll to save my life today. That's 1 success,
1 success.
but it's 2 damage.
Hey, as long as you're chipping away,
One success is 2 damage. It is enough. You manage to. It's 2 stamina. It's very. You're working this thing. It seems the dizziness of the spear
Oh,
is
it's-
affecting
it's-
the wielder a bit.
It's
but
very
boom,
dizzying.
You managed to knock another one down. Going on over to our friend Carvey.
So there's 1 left. Is he
There are
with-
2 left.
2 left.
Oh, there's
Oh,
2
wait,
left.
there's 1 untouched, yeah.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm sorry.
I see that.
All right.
Premature Dyson right there.
I'll go to the undamaged one and swing at him. I was like, did you like my grenade?
I made that.
It's homemade.
What are you swinging with?
Jesus. Nothing.
matter.
Apparently. A 2, a 1, and a 5. So.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter what you're swinging
Yeah.
with. You kind of, you like my grenade? You're waiting for a response.
I didn't even
It
move.
was not a rhetorical question. He fully expects an answer.
So you spend 3 stamina while you're waiting.
He doesn't think
Didn't
it's
need it.
funny.
It's social stamina.
That's
he's
it.
really interested
Yeah.
and he's kind of stressing.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
holding his breath, waiting for him to
I have
reply.
anxiety. I have performance anxiety.
I seek approval desperately.
I really need to know. Tell me if it was good.
This is worse than if you don't hit me.
How are we doing, Dirk?
I'm gonna take that stick there, shroom wood, and give him another smacking.
Alrighty.
Same one.
Same one.
You really suck at this rolling.
I got 1 success.
1 success. Actually, the same one is a dead one. So you want to pick like another one?
Oh, she
Is
killed
it?
yours.
Oh, well then I'll bonk the other one that's already been attacked.
Fuck the one that's already been attacked.
Another 1 damage.
One damage. Okay, you managed to do it. It's going to cost you 2 stamina. And you're good. you
good.
pull him down. He's down. So I one Ripple Strider left.
1 untouched.
Okay, sweet.
You want me to save you? I don't know if we have to go in order here, but like if I do 3 damage, if I just one shot, you don't gotta spend any stamina swinging.
Wow, the overconfidence is wild. Go for it.
Yeah, he's hella dead.
Talk. You gotta do that one.
That's
That's,
pretty- okay,
I
that's
mean,
fine. That's
first
pretty
of all,
That's
go
fine.
for one.
Still dead.
You're about to do a
I
really
told you I
cool
was gonna
move.
bring it back around.
You're about to do a really cool move and a chainsaw flies in.
Thus ends the saga of the Ripple Strider Boys. Infamous mobster gang. So cruel that they were not even welcome in Haven, the hub of scum and villainy. Not even welcome there. And the canyon falls silent. From with the sounds of combat sort of dying away, you'll notice that peace seems to have temporarily returned to the land, and the world, although still bucking and swaying every now and then, that there is.
Ooh, was that the woe?
You kind of feel. Yeah, like a part of the island falling away. Yeah, that
Sorry,
was the woe.
that just occurred to me that's what that was.
Yeah, literally, like half of the island fell into the abyss, and you had to run for your.
I thought you were just tired of our crap. We're like, please move forward.
I
I'm literally begging
They're
you
not
to move
mutually
forward.
exclusive.
I mean, it was a happy coincidence.
I'm like, even if we get to the ship and if it's falling off that fast, we're never gonna have time.
Nah,
to like,
we're
fix
screwed,
shit.
boys.
Like,
Sorry.
oh my gosh. Okay.
And this one, actually, you can, this green energy seems to continue to fall, but it seems to kind of, instead of being these little green crystals, it almost falls and the crystals almost break into mist before they touch the ground. Much of it is still seeping into the ground. A large downpour is still going to cause this bucking and shaking. However, this mist just seems kind of suffusing the area. You almost feel a tingle over your bodies from it, and you can actually see a small rock beetle that sort of burrowed into the side of the quist. This mist seems to wash over them, and it almost seems to like molt before your very eyes. Like,
So I gotta ask the question, Sentima, like a rock beetle person or like a regular rock beetle?
a small rock beetle,
Okay.
like a little.
we gotta be specific.
Getting
We're talking about
specific.
bugs and
Yeah.
Sentima.
He'll say Sentiman.
Okay.
If it's a
No,
bug
there's a beetle person just watching this whole thing happening. It's like,
Oh
oh,
no,
we're-
like curl
he
up in a
fears
wall,
us.
he's hiding, he's very sneaky. We're occupied.
But it actually almost molts immediately, almost doubling in size from this explosion of growth as it literally bursts out of its shell.
Could I do that too?
Seeming like shaking a little bit. Apparently, this is like this thing seems to affect smaller things. You guys are a bit too big for that energy to suffuse you right away. But your leaves actually do kind of branch out a little bit broader.
Oh, that's nice.
Does anyone have a fish?
I have
I didn't
fish.
bring any with me.
Yeah, I
oh,
got
yeah.
one.
Can I take one fish?
I brought a bunch of the wood.
I'll just give you my fish supply.
I just want to put it into the green to see if it does anything. Like if it grows like twice the size.
So the fish is, well, like most fish who get caught and carried around in a bag, dead. So, no,
I kept
unfortunately.
it on my personal aquarium, and you're telling me there's still not a lot?
I am an aquarium.
Were you able to palm the aquarium coming off the prison ship? Is that what's happening?
The pic was a distraction.
We have half the San Diego aquarium with us, okay?
There you go.
I'm gonna march right over to Saul. Sniff disdainfully at your.
Welcome.
And I'll grab the maul that I made and then gave him, and then yank it back and put it in my pack. I don't want to talk to you right now.
Well, round these
After
parts.
everything we just did for you, you got to see how good this fight was.
After everything you did,
That cut that man straight in half.
I-
I mean, maybe, but
Guys, we're here in a hellish world of death and destruction. I don't think we should fight each other.
You're looking at this all the wrong way. Really, we're in a world of opportunity.
look, maybe neither of us are particularly good at this. It's all gonna come down to the quality of the stick, and I got a pretty good stick.
I have a stick.
You say every stick is a pretty good stick.
Well, while they're on rambling,
Upside
I'm
down.
going ahead and harvest me some of them there fire ferns.
So you're looking around for these fire
Oh, good
ferns.
thinking.
These fire ferns are
Progress.
up on cliff walls and take quite a bit to rip out of the rock. It's going to be slow going, but you can do it. It's just going to be hard. Gathering here on like the lush and nice lake, which no longer exists. Trying to pry things out of the rock wall is going to be difficulty 16 if you want to gather anything.
Well,
here.
how about I climb up to one and then spend an energy point to fly to the rest?
I will decrease the difficulty by 2 if you want to do that.
I'll lend you my Lirbalism if you want.
That would be pretty nice.
I can give you my axe.
Yeah, we'll
do
get this
that.
whole rigmarole going again.
Yeah.
I'll tell him what the best places to get at the roots are, the weakest point, to try to pull it out easiest.
Yeah, and looking around, you don't just see the fire fern the tortoise was talking about. You can also see that clinging to the leaves of some of these plants are some larvae that seem to be suffused with red energy, making kind of like a hissing sound. And you also see that there are structures that seem to be kind of sticking out at various areas that appear to be like a piece of shiny ore that looks like you could harvest those as well. Although they look very sharp, they seem to be like they could be quite useful.
Ooh, I'd be interested in looking at that.
So what's everybody want to do? We'll just go around. You're going to be going for fire fern?
Yep, getting a +1 from your tool and a +1 from you.
2.
+2, so a +3 total.
So you're assisting?
Yep.
Perfect. Spend a stamina to do that.
Did.
Go ahead and roll it. And are you spending the energy point to fly also?
Yes.
So difficulty level starts at 14.
Doesn't matter. I rolled piss poor.
Oh, that'll do it.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go try and get some more.
All right, give me a metalworking test. Difficulty 16. You got to kind of clamber up there, and it's hard to get to.
Okie dokie. I get 1. 17. Yes, I get 1 6. I was like, dang man,
That
what
was
is
really
it?
accurate.
I get 1 success.
Good. You managed to go and peel these spikes off. And if you want to study it, give me another metallurgy real quick.
Super. Another 17.
Beautiful. Perfect. It was only difficulty, what was this, 14, I think? You managed
Still
to...
wasn't
perfect. All right, so you managed to find this is called a lone spike. It's card MP3.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
How
I used to have one of
musical.
those.
And go ahead and pull that out. A research point for everyone as you discover this very durable lone spike ingredient.
And then is that would be 4 stamina down for 1 for researching and 1 for getting it?
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
And the lone spike, it looks like you could actually process this into a high quality metal if you had a forge to go and or a foundry to go and
Ooh.
smelt it
You
at.
had a lot of heat. you're
Yeah, you need a
saying.
lot of heat,
Okay.
and it needs to be contained. You're not gonna be able to do this at a campfire. You're gonna need proper
Okay.
facilities. Haven might have some.
We could also
Over here?
That bug is looking like it could be a really good potential protein ingredient. I would be interested in getting some of those larvae.
Absolutely. If you have hunting, this would be appropriate. Even if you don't have hunting, it's what you need to do.
Okay. I'll use my spear to go stab him.
Okay, sounds good. Give me a hunting check.
I'll lend you 2.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. Difficulty 16. He gets you +2 with his hunting ability.
So I need 14s.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, so I get 2 successes. I got an 18, a 15, and a 13.
Nice. Only a single, with a single stamina spent, you managed to go and knock down a number of the hisser larvae. And if you want to give me another hunting check real quick, or cooking, I'll let you use cooking as well.
Good. I will use cooking to see why they're so angry at me.
Yep, sounds like a good plan. They're angry at you because you're going to eat them.
I
That's the
feel that
reason.
is unjust.
Can I help with the cooking and give a stamina? So
You
get
totally
+1?
can. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, thank you.
I want to know.
How many cooking do you have?
I have 2.
I will take your 2.
Boom. I think that's +4 for you.
It
This
is.
That's going to be like a difficulty 7.
It's easy.
So you say that, but that is 1 success.
Well, you know what? It's enough.
It is enough.
So 2 stamina, and you figure out the hisser larva. Research points for everybody. MP2 is going to be the card you're going to pull. And you have examined all of the different ingredients that you can
Ooh,
find
it's
here. Feel free to
slimy.
fill your pockets with whatever
we
you'd
failed
like.
on the fire fern.
I'm sorry?
We failed on the fire fern.
Oh, you did fail on the fire fern.
How can I do the fire fern?
You
I
can.
try?
Yeah, it's herbology. Sorry, herbalism.
I'm good at that.
Is this a meat? That's what that word is?
You know
The
what?
hisser
I'm
larva?
tired of being harangued for my handwriting. That's why I work in healthcare, so that no one can tell me those things.
Ah, okay.
I could read it, Nick. I knew what you were trying to say
Thank
to
you. Thank you, Corey, my
could just type
only
it in
friend.
It's got yacht, fool, and skinny.
I was in a hurry. I wrote like 120 of these things.
All right. Herbalism. I got 1 success. That's for sure.
That sounds
That'll
like
get
it
it.
works. So a couple stamina spent, and you managed to knock down some nice big bunches of fire fern. And if you want to give me an herbalism check to try to identify it.
You know what we can do instead of that? Spend a research point.
Yes. Yeah, you technically can spend a research point, and it'll just your knowledge of
So
what it is.
I'll just
Actually
spend one.
Yeah, just spend one.
Cool.
Card MP1. You could pull it right now. From what the turtle told you, and you can pretty much figure it all out. Not only is it a plant that has heat within it, it even glows slightly. So it has a bioluminescent quality to it as well.
That's cool.
Guys, I can make fried bud shrimps with chili paste. I have all the necessary ingredients. That's my favorite food.
I was wondering where the point. I was like,
Okay. I
Okay.
regret to inform you if you're thinking we can use this here fire fern to cook that it is in fact very inedible.
You say that, but you haven't seen how talented I am.
You say that, but I think you haven't seen what the food tag does.
Hey guys, don't tell Nick. What's the last tag on the card?
Bioluminescent.
Nobody tell Nick. He won't know.
Bioluminescent.
Okay, thank you.
It's okay, Nick. We appreciate you as a group. You made all these cool reference cards for us to look at, and they're very nice.
It's super cool. It looks
Oh
like you
no,
put
the
Pilo
root
and Scare.
Come. Oh no, it swallows you all.
Legible most of the time.
This is, to be fair, there's like 8 tags on each of these.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
like we've hit one each.
Yeah.
So we're like, I'm not sure what that says.
this is a positive ratio.
My hand is a claw from all of
White
the
knuckling
effort
over
and
there.
the care I
It's
tried
actually,
to
your
put
hand
into
is
this.
actually just like super swole now.
That's it.
You can like.
That's it right there. I'm
While
like,
they're all working on that, I brought myself a bit of the Cottigill back from the previous area, and I've got a bit of a question. Can you make tools, just like the utility tools, to give you a bonus to skills? and
you
whatnot?
100% can, yeah.
Okay, because we had a bit of a talk about using this here Cottigill, seeing it's not particularly flammable, to carve out and dampen enough of it to make it into a low boil pot. And we're not going to be putting this thing directly into an open flame or anything like that, but you could well pretty much cook in it.
I mean, what you could do is if it was, yeah, you could actually. So wood doesn't transmit heat too well, but
But it's better than nothing.
it
It's
is-
Gonna be, I mean, that's gonna be quality one, so it's not gonna be like. it's
you know
definitely
what?
not gonna be
Fair
incredible.
enough. That's fair enough. You can go ahead and do that. It'll be good for at least a few runs. Once it chars, then on the outer level chars, I think that it'll probably work decently enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's burning enough. It's gonna stop burning.
Sounds good to me. Just making out of Cottigill wood, right?
Yeah, just straight Cottigill wood.
All right, sounds
I mean, there's nothing else here. It feels like it's gonna help me in making it. So
all right, sounds good to me. Go ahead and give me a woodworking check. It's gonna be DC 15.
2 successes.
Nice. You with a single piece of stamina, you have carved yourself out a fairly decent wooden cooking pot, which will probably hold up for at least a couple meals.
And then by the time that Arutha comes back from hunting down those there larvae, I've got this here nice and charred and seasoned, ready to go. Fine, rounded cooking stick.
He turns into a weeping willow. He gets so excited. He gives you a big leafy hug.
Now, I know what you're like. I know it's been killing you not be able to cook for us all proper like, and these fish are pretty tough to work with. So
That is the
Here you go.
nicest thing anyone has ever done. I'm gonna make you the most special meal everyone has ever made for anybody.
So is that just I imagine being quality one, just a +1? to
Quality
cooking?
1 +1 to cooking. You've got a tool now. Utility spot.
I'm
we-
so happy.
If we can, I wouldn't mind resting. I'm pretty
Yeah,
not
resting ain't a bad idea.
feeling great.
After that fight, a little tuckered out. But I would like to do a little something with some of my research points right here.
Sure.
I'd like to spend 3 to make a fire mallet recipe.
A fire mallet recipe. Sure. What you want the mallet to do?
Thorn wood. It's a green smashy stick, and 3 successes inflicts fire.
Okay. You've got enough of a. You've got the fire fern. I guess you could use for some hot ingredients, and you could probably work a. You could probably work a lone spike into it also to kind of compress that fire fern to make it hot enough to be able to go ahead and work this out. The thorn pine would be fine, but you could also just get away with using Cottigill wood if you had some of that too, either when. and
Yeah,
it
but I
would
got
actually be
thornwood in my pocket.
Yeah, that was the only kind of guild that I brought. I don't know
fair enough.
what
You got
else
thorn in
has
your
it.
pocket? No problem. Yeah, that would
Uh,
work out. This would actually be a red weapon, though, when you finish it off. Were you hoping it to make it a green weapon, or?
Just whatever you think it would be.
What
That
did you
sounds
need?
very
'Cause
red.
I think he wants it
Most
to
of
be a
your
weapon to
ingredients
set
are
stuff on
red.
fire.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Because I have some left over if you want mine.
Ah, it'll be fine.
All right. So I could see this being woodworking to work with the Cottigill handle. I could see this being.
If you're a bit tuckered from that there fight,
Well, I'm just making the recipe. I'm handing the idea off to our professional woodworker
Sounds good to me.
with his chain axe.
we'll spice a bit. There
Very,
you go.
very precise how you kind of work it all out. Yeah, and I'm gonna say that you could work this out. And go ahead, give me a test for it. It's gonna be quality 2 red weapon. So 16. What you looking for?
One success on that one, but I do get it done.
You get it done. That's going to go ahead and bust up a nice. You've got yourself a fire starter mallet. It's going to be a red weapon, quality 2. You get 3 successes. You set them on fire. Pretty good. What is our good friend Mimi and Carvey going to be doing with their time?
What are you going to be doing? in
It
your
is
time?
going on with the afternoon.
Are we resting now, or
I mean, that sounds. Everyone seemed to think that was a good idea.
so cool? Our Carvey's gonna.
Like, you don't have to rest now. Like, you could like just craft some more stuff, but like you could certainly rest now if you want to.
Carvey's got a larva, a dark lily, and a fire fern. I don't think he's crafting too much right now. So,
Well, first off, you have as much larva as you want, as much fire fern as you want, and as much lone spike as you want.
okay, so well, that's fair. You know what? I like your argument. Carvey's going to. Can I borrow your cooking pot?
Well, of course you can.
Thank you. He's just gonna grab it and he's gonna go. He's gonna just try to cook up larva. Just grilled larva with if he
Boiled
can
larva.
with a little bit of fire fern herb on top of it
And fish.
and fish.
That-
I brought a.
Can
Yeah,
we eat
I
the
brought
fire
cleaner.
fern?
It says herb.
Fire fern, it's not food, so its quality is not going to. It's not going to give you stamina back, but if you have a special recipe
Oh, I
that
thought we
calls
couldn't eat
for it-
anything that didn't have the tag.
I mean, technically, if you eat something that doesn't have the food tag, it doesn't give you any stamina back, so there's no point.
Yeah, like I could craft my special recipe with fire fern and a relaxing herb because I just need an herb with the relaxing tag and red.
Yeah, but I
and
thought it was
hot.
also implying it had to be food. Okay, fair enough.
No,
We could
you
Yeah,
eat-
yeah,
can
yeah.
make
eat
your
whatever
thing.
garbage. as
You
long
could
as it's
eat
the
dirt
garbage that
off
you
the
like.
ground if you want to. It's just not going to give you too much stamina
As
back.
long as it matches the recipe of your thing, it doesn't matter what it's made of.
Now, the flavoring is what makes it makes it your favorite.
So as long as
Yes.
the dirt is, it tastes good, you get your full favorite recipe.
Technically, that's how spices work.
I mean, that's fair, I suppose.
So I'm going to subtly
Salt.
influence his recipe to try to make it as close to my recipe as possible since he's using all the same ingredients. I'm actually going to secretly slip stuff into the pot while he's not looking.
So this is like
He doesn't look often. He
destructive
just stares into space.
cooperation. We'll call it cooperation, no problem. The reason why I was asking is if you wanted to burn some extra stamina, I'm not sure how beat up you guys are with all of the actions you took. You took a lot of actions in the fight. I
I'm
know
not that beat up.
I can burn more and use an energy point
So,
when I rest.
Yeah, so my point is that you might want to wait until you actually if you wanted to craft a whole bunch more stuff. But if you guys are done, you can rest now if you want to.
Well, there's nothing with the explosive tag, so I'm done crafting.
I can just cook a bunch
Okay.
before we do anything else.
All right, and so if you guys are happy, yeah, go ahead
Well,
and you take a
maybe-
rest.
Maybe you want to do something?
Well, I don't know why we're resting. Can't we just keep moving?
Well, we can.
I'm not feeling awesome. my stamina's at about half of what it was a minute ago.
But we just started the day. It's basically we've only gotten a
It's
little bit.
basically early afternoon.
I mean,
Well-
we could keep moving and cook later.
Get out of this gorge at least.
Yeah, I feel like we can get at least through.
How
the
long is
course of
rest? I might just be misunderstanding how long
A
rest
rest is going to take. So the day is divided into four parts of the day,
Okay.
right? So you've got morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Each section of the day you can do 2 scenes with, right? A rest takes up 2 whole scenes. So it's early afternoon. It would be early evening by the time you were done resting, right?
Okay.
Most people choose to rest at night because it's kind of hard. Without a light source, you can't really see what you're doing, and
Yeah,
everything
light
is a lot harder at night. But I mean, nothing says you can't. It's just that you'll kind of
Okay, yeah, we're gonna wake up in the middle of the night. And
Yeah.
trying to be
Yeah.
we don't have to rest.
If you just wanted to eat but not rest, I'll let you get the stamina back. It won't take as much time. I'll let you get the stamina back from resting.
Yeah, we'll rest and then travel.
And
Or
then
we'll eat
and
then
then
travel.
yeah, and traveling takes one scene to travel. So like you think of it like you have like 8 time units to spend in a day, and like doing like 2 activities takes up a time unit, and traveling takes a time unit.
Oh, that's
Think of it that way.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
So I guess we could do
And
the
the weather
cooking
changes every day.
and eat.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just cook and then travel.
Sure. So give me that cooking test. Sure.
And you'll get your max, so +4.
Oh, sweet.
Assistance. Sous chef.
Jeez.
Sous chef Arufa's got
okay,
your
that's a 9, a 23, and an 11.
Yeah, I probably should have told you a difficulty level. So we're
probably 4,
we are
right?
looking at You're using Hisser larva and what else?
And I think I said
Cleaner.
The fish too.
The
yeah,
cleaner fish? Okay, cool. So quality 2 is the highest ingredient, so it's going to be difficulty 12. So how many did you get?
I'm not blessed, so I got 1.
1 success, that's enough. 2 stamina to go and do your cooking routine, and everyone gets to enjoy a nice little meal. No one's sleeping or resting, so that you're just going to get back for your for the food. So no one's resting, so you're going to get stamina back. You use the larva, you use the cleaner fish, and did you use the fire firm, but it's not food. So you're going to get 3 stamina back for the cleaner and the larva. If anyone, your favorite recipe is made up by the tags, you're gonna get an additional 5 back.
Yes.
And that is gonna be tribal. Everyone's gonna get an energy point back for eating the energy-rich food. If anyone has their tribal food of meat or fish, I guess plant counts too. Well, the fire fern's not food though; it's just seasoning. So I'm gonna say meat or fish. You're gonna be able to get an additional energy point back. Cool. That's gonna basically take your the afternoon wanes on, but you still have plenty of light to move around and travel by. Looking around the canyon, you can see what it looks like was once just a straight highway extending off into the distance. It actually does branch off. The day is fairly long. If you want to keep exploring, you could,
Yeah.
or you could just head straight to Haven if you want to. Looking around, you can see one area tends to kind of drop away down to kind of lead into the earth and what appears to be a cave system.
That's like the opposite of what we're trying to do.
I would
Yeah.
like to go to Haven because
Yeah,
that seems to
Haven-
be where the people are.
It does seem to be where the people are. And then, to your left, you can see that you hear the sound of what sounds like a trickling, almost like a waterfall, but like gentler. It's very odd. You never quite heard that before. And then on your right, you can see a massive canyon with large mushroom trees and what appears to be a bridge woven entirely out of spiderweb crossing it.
Oh,
You know, I think a water source sounds pretty nice.
I like
It sounds
water.
like food.
It sounds like it could be very nice to, have something to drink.
What do y'all think?
Well, I don't know. I feel like if we're trying to get to town, they'd probably have water there. I don't know.
Just
how much
earlier
that-
this morning, I think a good chunk of the entirety of this island we're standing on just disappeared into the abyss. So I figured getting them as far away as possible from
Are these
that. And
all like pathways towards Haven?
So you're not entirely sure where Haven is.
yes, that's true. We don't really know
specifically.
where Haven is.
We did not ask.
Can I do a search for like a well-worn path that would probably be to and fro, or no? If we're on a highway, like, or it once was a highway.
That's fair. Yeah, give me a search check.
Okay. Ha.
It would make sense that Haven would be near a water source.
He does not see anything.
Is the DC 8?
9.
9.
No.
I
Are
don't
you
see
sure?
anything. It's
What about
very hard
10?
to see. Nobody's walked this path in a long time.
Also, it's
So-
like it's bare rock. Like difficulty was 16. It's bare rock. It's really hard.
Oh
to
my
see.
god.
You got halfway
Okay, never mind. JK.
Yeah, it's you spent a long time kind of poking around and looking, but you're not really seeing.
If I were
too
a
much.
betting man, the fact that this looks more or less like it used to be some kind of a road implies to me that it'd be heading to where the people and where the commerce to be found. Not often we get these kind of real walkable trails, easy for transportation, big loads of goods, without having it go somewhere valuable. I don't know how long Haven's been here, but that turtle fella seemed to think there'd been quite a few folk coming through here throughout the years.
That makes sense.
It might be bigger than we're expecting it to be.
If I believe a bridge would imply people have been there, and that's would be towards the city.
Okay, I like bridges.
Well, bridges sounds like then.
All right. So you go and travel. It's early evening when you make your way through, and you come to this canyon, and it is filled with cotigils. These giant mushrooms just seem to sprout up, and it is filling the entirety of the canyon. It is crazy to look at, to the point where the bridge is almost extraneous. Like,
Go across the top of it.
you're looking, you could almost like just step off the bridge, drop maybe 10 feet, and you're standing on a mushroom top. Or, looking a bit to the side, you could drop into what appears to be a massive spider web covering the sections between the cotigils. You're not entirely sure why you would choose to do that. However, underneath the spider web appears to be a single blooming flower. And this flower is glowing and dripping with an abundance of yellow energy. It is almost like a little star sitting down at the base of this canyon. And little chunks of this yellow, overflowing, abundant energy is pouring out. You have never seen so much energy in a natural state. This is almost like what was flowing through the tubes back at Akron Outpost, but occurring naturally.
Wow.
Well, if y'all want me to fly down there and take a look at that, I reckon I could get a little
There
taste of
is
it.
a giant spider
There
web
does,
in
yeah,
the
there
way.
does seem to
That
be.
won't
It's
stop
kind of
my wings.
That's
Kind of
okay.
a
The merchant markets have got plenty of those spread across. Easy backpass, not so much for the Cadena, but for the whatever the other spider's called. I can't remember.
Aragons.
Aragons.
Yeah.
I was gonna go like a Grigione. I was close.
They were close.
I had a thought, and it's probably not a good one because it's B. But if that flower
You have excellent thoughts. Don't ever let yourself get down like that.
a lot of yellow energy, could it like be a thinking flower? Like maybe it's trying to trap us into going down there and trying to get us, because you've always told me that yellow energy is very contemplative, and if it's thinking, what is it thinking about?
Well, if it's bait, it's damn good bait because I want to go down there and touch it.
Why, it's most definitely bait, but I mean, I agree. It does look pretty tempting.
Looks like it can make some pretty fine sticks, if I do say so myself.
I don't think that works.
We could burn the spider web so it's not on our way.
Well, what if we burn how close is it to the flower? How much gap is there?
It's
We burn-
below, the flower's below the netting, and fire goes up. So
Yeah,
I don't
embers
think...
go down.
He
So
has a
does
per-
ash and coal.
We have
That
a
is
recently
concern.
made. We have
Wait,
a recently
wait.
made precise burning weapon.
Wait a minute, we have a fishing pole.
Is
we
the
could go-
flower not gigantic?
We could
It's
go-
also,
Flower's
there's a
pretty
web.
big.
There's a web.
Like it's
Why
like
not I've worked with plenty of Aragon back in the Cadena markets. Share a lot of our space with them. Every spider I've ever met, other than that little scientist, that Sarissa back at the, our previous venture, seemed to be a little bit off color. But if they're home, we'll have some fine words with them.
Well, can you tell
let me
what
be a good
kind of?
friend.
Can you tell if they're that kind of spider or what your kind of
Oh,
spider?
they're definitely not. That's they don't come in exactly that size. Not even the matriarchs. Probably not even the prophetess.
Can I do some sort of search to see if there's like holes for a large spider to crawl out
Can I do
of?
some sort of climb to go down?
you can. You
Wait.
give me search. You give me athletics.
Before you do that, why don't you have some of this this lily
What's the
potion?
DC?
DC is going to be, let's see
22.
here, not 22. I am going to say DC is going to be 16, unless you just want to drop. Like, if you want to drop,
No, I'm gonna
gravity's
climb. I'm gonna
free.
use a little. Gravity is free. But he's a little bit of caution down there. DC 16, Cadena pretty good at climbing. That's gonna be 2 successes.
2 successes. You managed to kind of bloop, 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 ratty long legs.
Got a lot of
here.
legs, a lot of hands.
What's the DC for searching?
DC for searching is going to be...
Stop.
Uh-huh. See, this is what we get when we go back and forth on each other. It's going to be 14.
I failed tremendously.
Well,
It looks like a spider web. It seems if there's a spider waiting, it's really good at what it does.
He looks down and she goes, sticky.
gravity is free, and so is me as I jump off a cliff
Free?
and
You
fly.
should have more self
Okay.
worth.
And where you want to go?
You're very
Down with
encouraging.
Spooter.
Down with Spooter. Okay, so are you
Hold
gonna
on.
climb on top of the on top
I'm
of
trying to kind of just pick past it. Because, I mean, it's got to be anchored to the inside of this canyon. Or these
Yeah, you can get around the spider
things.
web
So,
if
like,
you put your mind.
I'm trying to, the reason I'm climbing, not just dropping, is so that I can find myself a good space to get in and around this here thing.
Careful, it's sticky.
Try not to get all stuck.
Yeah, so I'll
And
just
then
fly
just
like, wide and around the web and try and get down to like the base floor.
Okay, so you're both trying to do the same thing.
We're literally having this, yeah, okay, never mind. This is gonna go great. I have free feelings, guys. Never mind.
You gotta
You're
believe.
good. You're good.
So you go down with your Kadena legs. You go down with your wings. Flip, flap, flap, flip, flip, flip. And what's your athletics? Did I have you make an athletics check?
I just flew.
You just
I
flew on down
spent
there.
an
Okay.
energy point.
Just give me an athletics check, DC 10. It's not difficult. You can make it.
Well,
down there.
you say that, but I ain't got anything in there.
Oh, natural 20.
2 successes, 120.
2020, it's going to be free. You're going down. It's easy. You maneuver around the webs, no problem. You land down at the bottom. And as you both land down, you...
Immediately eaten.
Yeah. Looking up, you actually see kind of tucked up underneath the overflowing umbrella of the Cottagil. You're staring into the multi-paired eyes of an Aragane. This is not a giant beast spider as you are afraid of. It appears to be a civilized spider. He is wearing a set of sort of clothes and not clothes necessarily, but sort of like bandanas and kind of armbands, which mark him as part of a house. A house you might recognize the colors of. It's an old merchant house. He also is wearing a set of chitin armor tied around him, and he has a crossbow kind of at his hip. He looks down. We have some visitors. And he kind of looks over you both very coldly.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Fine fella. This is a mighty massive web you spun out here. Greater than anything I've seen connecting any of the markets back home.
He kind of looks over the both of you, eyes resting briefly on your weapons. And
Saul
just
Thakahad. Saul
kind of nods.
Sticktorium.
Greetings, sirs. Welcome to my humble abode. What can this old man do for the both of you?
Can we hear him? Can we hear him?
You hear Saul, certainly.
I'm muffled by the canopy.
Yeah, Saul he speaks very quietly, but you definitely hear Saul saying, "Oh, hello there." Apparently, like engaging with someone.
He's talking to the flower.
We spotted this here fine flower from above going heading across that bridge, looking for a place called Haven. Tortoise folk back behind us told us to come looking for, and just got a little bit distracted by the beauty, the raw essence, the true power of this thing. Think about its potential for some mighty fine sticks in the future. Would this be yours then, for chance? Putting your web on top of this, trying to keep a hold of it, stake some claim?
Well, it is a useful distractive tool, but frankly, it does me no good aside from looking beautiful. I have other things that I am more interested in. Perhaps we could come to an agreement, you and I.
Perhaps we very well could.
What kind of deal you thinking?
Well, I have an interest in herb ingredients that do not grow here in my land. If you could perhaps provide me with some things that may be able to, I suppose, alter the state of mind of things, as it were, is something of a passion of mine. I have a variety of things, this flower, for example, but a few others that you may find useful.
Well, good news for you, my fine folk, my fella, my new friend. I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna pull back the lily pot that you gave me like forever ago.
I'm also going to hand you swamp grass.
And some swamp grass. I'll go ahead and take that as well. I've got a pair of fine things here, neither of them a good proper stick. With this here potion, these little bendy sticks right here, we found way back in a land that you will find no longer exists should you attempt to traverse to it. And between the two of them, we have got a truly interesting experience for you. This potion brewed only by the finest of the forest alchemists. Hey, do the tree people have a name?
Rooted.
Like, rooted? They're just called rooted?
The rooted.
Oh, just the rooted.
I
If
am
you put
root.
the in front of it, it becomes official.
That's fair. Okay.
I am root.
But the finest rooted finest rooted alchemist that has been my fine pleasure to know. A very invigorating particular kind of sauce here. Not just able to keep your mind sharp and on edge, but also perhaps to heal any maladies of the flesh or of the very soul. And this right here, added to it, crumbled up, a little bit of a dense flavor, a little bit of a better bitter taste, but you're going to find that it has a true relaxing, near sleep-inducing property, these little sticks right here. Go ahead, take a whiff. You can probably smell them up there.
Indeed, I can, and I recognize them. These are very useful ingredients indeed. That quake that I felt before. You say the lake no longer exists.
As a matter of fact, that entire area seems to have dropped into the frothing, flaming maw at the heart of Sentima. These may very well be the last samples of these ingredients that you will ever get to lay your eyes upon.
Well, something so rare. How could I turn it down? Please, the Morning Star. That is what this is called. It is yours.
It's a fitting name for a fitting plant.
And indeed, I will offer you one other thing if you would like. And he lays out a selection of precise machined tools, which seem like very rare. If you were ever to actually have to go and perform maintenance on a machine, these would be very useful. You also find he offers a distiller and a set of tubes for it, which would be useful in crafting any type of medicines or poisons. And he also has a book that appears handwritten notes, which talk all about poisons and how to make poisons and all the different things that poisons can do. This man seems to... it's not difficult to figure out what his profession was with that Kadena noble house, it occurs to you.
It ain't an Aragone that I have met that does not take a liking to the finer aspects of spicing things in a very particular way.
Which would you like to take?
Let me see. I'm gonna look down at these. I'm gonna look over at the stall here. So we got
Tools.
the tools. Also thinking of the tools. And tools.
Yeah.
Tools.
Awesome.
Like,
Go ahead and
of
take...
all the things, the tools by themselves are useful. All the others would like be good together.
Take card CG4 for the tools and CG1 for the Morning Star. The Morning Star is so overflowing with power that its traits are readily apparent. No need to identify them.
I'll just spend a research point on the other two. Unless he'll tell us what they do.
Precise
two?
tools on the tools?
Yeah.
You don't have to spend a research point.
Okay.
It's not a weapon or anything mechanical. It's just these are tools designed for that.
Then there we
The
go.
Morning Star, after looking at it, you realize that its insightful energies could be concentrated into a set of goggles, which would allow you, if you ever marginally succeeded on something once per day, you could use the goggles to fully succeed, which isn't a resounding success, but it's 2 successes instead of 1. It does, however, require you to have a metal ingredient and a crystal ingredient to go and create the actual structure of the goggles.
Well, we got metal. We would just need crystal.
And with that,
ore.
perhaps some crystal could be found for trade in Haven. The spider seems to be pleased with his trade, and in fact offers to carry you up, and moreover gives you directions to Haven.
Ooh, fantastic.
What a very nice spidery gentleman you are.
So just to double check, this here Morningstar thing, it's still like we have a source I can take like.
Nope,
I just
there's,
get one.
it is
We get
one of a
one.
kind.
It's
Okay.
a special ingredient.
Yep,
That's-
there's a
that's it.
special
I have-
ingredient.
I have
And
like
if
a
you
one
want,
the morning.
if you
Star, so
want
I'll
to
just
make
keep
those
this.
goggles, by the way, it will cost you 5 research points to figure out how to put all those
Oh,
together.
that's the special recipe. I see.
Correct.
What skill would we use to make it?
Engineering,
Make
I
me a
imagine.
case. But yeah, these are going to be precise goggles, so I could definitely see an argument for engineering. I could see metalworking.
The good news that'll come out of that is that I already got a little bit of a mind for the more complex kind of sticks we can put together here. And these eye-focusing sticks, with these little tools that we just traded this man for, I don't think it'll be that difficult to assemble them.
Okay, maybe when we get to Haven and we're safe.
Yeah, we're gonna need to trade for a couple of things though. We don't have any metal. We don't have anything to use for the lenses.
Well,
properly.
no,
gotta
we
get
have
something
metal.
different. We got rocks.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
we
not
can
exactly a
process it
metal.
over in Haven potentially.
Maybe.
Well,
We
if
gotta
not,
be able
maybe
to
we
do
can
it
trade
somewhere.
for it.
I have some swamp grass and some dark lily, which we now know are very rare, so maybe Haven will want to trade with us.
Suddenly, a very precious resource indeed.
Didn't you always say that scarcity is a market's best friend?
That I did. And this is very much going to be a seller's market, I hope that we'll find.
I guess we should get there so we can put stuff on sale.
You made a trade, good sir.
So, my thing is technically get paid. that count?
barter is
Okay.
primarily how thing works.
That's what I
Paid in
figured.
tools.
Yeah, because I figured like selling something or trading something was like
Yeah,
it,
so
'cause it's not really a
coins-
currency. So
Coins exist. The Kadinas made them, but like out
course
here in
we
the
did.
boonies, of course you did. Out here in the boonies, like basically what makes coins valuable is that they're little crystals that can hold energy.
okay.
So elemental energy, like shiny bits of metal, don't matter. What matters is
The energy
can
in
it do
them.
energy,
Okay.
right? So little bits of energy are basically what the currency of the land is and of
So
civilization.
I'm getting my greedy little energy point. We're good.
You'll get your greedy little energy
What
point.
do
Well
the
done.
tools do?
The tools are
Plus
just a
2
utility
engineering.
item with +2 engineering.
Who
Yep.
wants to hold on to?
I'm already okay at engineering,
didn't.
so that give me a +3 if I
Yeah,
held on to
Sure.
it. Has
absolutely.
anyone else
Just
invested
for
in
the sake of
engineering?
No,
making sure
sure.
someone has it like on their
I will
sheet.
take those then.
I am as well, but
No, you
I-
can have them. I got the cool chain axe. You can do.
I got the bandages and the cooking pot. Because it seems like
I mean,
that makes
we
sense.
can always, if someone
move
wants
them.
to use it,
Yeah,
just
sure.
hand it to someone. Like, it's not a big deal who carries it. I just want to make sure someone has it.
yeah.
Well, Shale is very grateful that we met you. This is my pet rock.
It's true. No one bothered to confiscate your pet rock, and it is in fact still with you.
He loves me.
The only reason you still have it, by the way, is because you were able to hide it amongst your branches. Because the sadistic guards aboard the prison ship would certainly have taken it from you, just to be cruel. They would have done it.
Shale
This is what
purr.
happens when your husband's the GM. Light favoritism. Just
you get
gonna
to
say
keep your
there.
pet rock
Doesn't
that
let
has
me
no
take my
mechanical benefit.
pickaxe of
Yeah.
explosions, but
Yeah.
you get to keep your pet
Yeah.
rock. It doesn't do anything. That's fair.
Unreasonable.
Well, you
Reasonable.
know, maybe you should give me foot rubs more often. Is all I'm saying.
I'll have
Well,
you know.
you might not
I
have been able to
actually-
keep your pickaxe of
I'm
explosions,
way happier with
but
this
we
chain.
got our hammer of fire and our chain of
Yeah,
saw.
I'm pretty content with what I got right now. I think I'm
Our
sitting
chain
pretty.
of saw.
Chain of saw, chain of saw, and our
Yep,
tools
thank
of
you.
precision.
Thank you.
I think
It's my
I mean,
pickaxe now.
Shale thinks we should keep moving before the
Well,
sun
this
goes down.
fine fella let us up out of the veil, didn't he? And
He
up in
did.
the direction of Haven.
And it seems you get the distinct feeling that although he's being a perfect gentleman to you, that if you weren't so quite well obviously armed and competent, he probably wouldn't have had a problem. Like
They're not a guy with a
wrapping you up
literal
in silk.
chainsaw.
Yeah.
and a
goes to
freaking
pull out-
wasp with a flaming mouth.
He goes to pull out his crossbow, and his entire forest is now on fire.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm an old guy. I can just go.
How
and
you
trade.
doing, Philip?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
I'm
a
not
good,
going down and burn.
sometimes a good defense is a good offense.
Yeah, it's the it's frontier politeness. You know, everyone on the frontier is so polite because they're all
Everyone's got a
armed.
pistol.
So you yeah, he'll be let back out and he'll direct you down to up the road through the gorge, and it will lead you. And as you approach closer, you can actually hear the sound that you weren't sure you'd ever hear again. The sound of bustling civilization.
Sound of
The clanging
money.
of industry, the clamor of voices kind of is channeled up the gorge as you approach. And as you turn a corner, you can see the gorge widen and go down to a large cave entrance with a set of heavy gates built into it. But those gates are propped open right now, and standing at the mouth of the gates is an Imperiati Scorpion. Certainly nowhere near as well equipped or armored as the ones who threw you off the boat, but apparently they're not above throwing their own off the boat either, for here stands at least one of them.
Oh boy.
He
Just
looks at the
polish
new
his armor
arrivals.
3 times a day.
Well, you know, polishing stuff is rare here, but maybe.
That's why he got thrown off.
He didn't polish his armor as well. Yeah, I want to see my face in that chitin. Nope, just, you're undisciplined. Throw him off.
Maybe he's a poet, and they don't like poetry.
Imagine eating,
Imperiati actually can be very decent.
I was
poets,
literally
I'll
just
have you
thinking
know.
about. We got the food tag on this morning
Yeah,
star. That's
imagine
delicious.
eating this.
Make us a real good meal.
You could gobble it down. You'd get so much stamina back. It would open your third eye.
It would be
briefly,
like 2 more than
and then
just
you would
eating the weird
realize
bug.
I could have made this into something forever useful, and then it would disappear, and you'd forget about it and move on with your
the blessing of ignorance.
Philistine existence. We have made it successfully to Haven. What lies ahead in Haven? What What will the exiles find in this hive of scum and villainy?
We don't know.
We don't know. That remains to be seen. If you
Trade.
want to know, come on back. Trade.
Commerce.
He'll make it happen.
Merchantry.
Maybe even a bar fight. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe a kitchen.
You ever bring a chainsaw to a bar fight?
Generally frowned upon, but what are they gonna do? Call the cops? I mean,
Oh, you could make the bar stools way lower.
it's a joke. Cut the leg off each one. What lies in store, we will find out next week. And why don't you come on by and find out next week as well? Yubi's Adventure sponsored stream, Sentima, Sundered Wilds. Thank you,
doing it.
everybody, for coming by. You have a great evening.
Thank you.